And we are coming down in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to Getting Sports with Drunk. I'm your hostess, Cupcake the Riddler, and I'm joined by...
Ooh, wow, we gotta go way in order. The Red Baron.
Yeah.
And very special guests.
Yes, very special guest, Uncle Bob.
Uncle Bob is here, yes. Again, oh my goodness.
The Mass.
The Mass is here.
The Mass.
Mass is here.
Oh, this is
Oh, that's a problem.
Yeah,
Oh,
I want to watch it. We have some foamage going on.
Chris, we gotta have you talk more into the microphone.
Yeah, right into the microphone.
Right into the microphone.
I'll pull it up a little bit.
All right.
Uh-oh.
Not touching the mic, though.
All right,
You have them turned on?
Yep, he's on.
All right, are we good? Are we good?
That's very low.
Very faint.
Very faint.
He has a naturally low voice.
Well, it's gain him up a little bit. Hey, how are you, Chris?
I'm not doing too bad. How are you, Kendall?
That's better.
Doing good, yes.
Yes. You can put it on the board.
Hey!
Yes!
Yes!
I miss him.
Is he not in WWE anymore?
That's
Whoa,
Hawk
whoa,
Harrelson
whoa.
from
Hawk
White
Harrelson,
Sox.
the White
The White
Sox.
Sox commentator.
You know, I know what he was thinking, though. He was thinking, like, Road Dogg and...
Yeah.
Billy-
What a time to not have private stock with us.
I know.
But yeah, so we're joined. We're short staffed, but we have plenty of loving guests that are always willing to come on. Machine Washable, J Mart, and what's Kyle's nickname for the day?
Mojito.
Mojito. Nah, he did that last week.
Did he?
Smelly.
Well,
Smelly.
you be
Well,
smelling.
how can we tell today?
They're all the same. Really, all his nicknames are just synonym for Kyle.
Okay.
But I
distinction,
can't keep like looking away from this. It's like
It's got a life of its own. Yes.
yeah. Well, that's a good way to
What
get
is
drunk.
it?
It's a pecan pie porter.
Okay.
It's a pretty good way to get hammered in the morning when it does this because you just keep drinking it really fast. So yeah, we'll be slammed by 11. Well, that sounds like a good enough time to do our starting lineups. So I'll go first since mine's volcanoing. From Clown Shoes Brewery, I have the pecan pie porter, and it might be pretty old. It might be very old.
It
How
almost
old are
looks
we
like...
talking?
Well, it's definitely old because it's doing this. This is a sign of an old porter.
Yeah,
Um,
it is.
That beer is from
I
the
still have a
maple-
lot of that sauce from that enormous burrito in my mouth, so I couldn't really get a good flavor profile. But I think we're starting to get side sippage, so you guys go ahead.
Well, both that beer and the beer I'm about to introduce are from the Maple Studio. It's been a while since they've been debuted, and they've been on the floor of my bedroom now for
Since they've seen the light of day.
From Thimble Island, part of the Riddler collection. I have I guess it's just Maiden, just called
It's a saison.
Maiden.
Just straight up Maiden.
Yeah, it's got a pretty cool wrapper to it. It's got
It's a label.
boat. Yeah, I know I said wrapper. It's kind of like a piece of drift.
Like newspaper.
Wood.
No, it's
Driftwood.
the what the hell's it called? The front of the ship. The
Oh,
Well, yeah,
wow.
but I mean the
What?
way.
The prow.
yeah, the front.
Yeah.
But I mean the way they applied it to the bottle. It's like ripped and tattered. It's pretty cool.
So you could properly use the word tattered, but you said
Listen,
you said
It's 10:04 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm still getting into my groove.
mass. We have an array going on of domestic brews.
Yeah, domestic brews purely because Ashley decided to wait until 10 o'clock at night last night to leave her grandparents, so we never got to touch up the package store. So I am drinking Sam Adams Cherry Wheat.
And then you got some on deck stuff. Don't talk about that's
All right,
later.
we'll go later.
When you go to the bullpen.
Okay.
Uncle Bob, coffee.
Coffee.
For now.
Coffee.
It's my second cup for the day. I mean, it's lucky I got here without killing somebody. I haven't had my second cup yet.
Yeah, I was really fortunate to be able to have time to stop and grab some sort of caffeinated beverage. Feel much better now.
Yeah, no, I'm running on no caffeine right now, and I'm going to be regretting that.
Oh, that's why you just how many beers you got? Shotgun them all.
Okay, let's
It's like the same thing.
We'll get you a straw for the bottles.
Yeah. do the fold it over and chug like they do with the Jack Daniels. So we're not really gonna, screw around with shot trivia today. We can ask. Kendall can come up with an NFL question that we can just ask for fun. But toast to excellence before we. Beers are opened, but that's fine.
I open my
Well, they're all bottles. It's like it's hard. There you go. But do you have a toast to excellence at all? Anything?
Yeah.
So you've listened to the show. You know what we do.
Yeah. I'm gonna use it for Baker Mayfield for actually making the Browns fun to watch again. I'll take something I didn't think I'd say this decade for $200, Alex.
Gotta get you some merch. Make the Browns great again.
Yep.
Uncle Bob?
Well, I think I'm going to go with Lester and getting through 5 innings while he struggled, and they still managed to win the game. And again, for all the problems the Cubs have with their bullpen, 4 pitchers throw 4 scoreless innings to wrap the game up yesterday. Yep. And they beat the White Sox.
Yeah, but they got beat by the White Sox the night before.
Yeah.
It's always how it goes.
Well, that rivalry always ends up generally tied.
Yeah.
The
Nobody wins it.
The Cubs could be 150-0, and they'll lose one to the White Sox.
Oh yeah.
The White Sox are the complete opposite. They won't have a single hit all season, and then they'll just throw 8 up on the board against the Cubs.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It's very frustrating for both teams. Let's see. I had a toast to excellence, but I forgot.
I'll go. I got one.
Oh, okay.
Well, that way.
No, please, yes, by all means.
This, with a very pained heart, is to congratulate the Atlanta Braves for clinching the NL East. That hurts, but...
Oh, they clinched it?
Yeah, they did.
Because they beat the Phillies?
Yes.
Well, somebody had to win that division.
Yeah.
Well, the Phillies really just kind of hit Skid Row there for a while. They were really losing games.
I'll tell you what, the Mets crept up. They could finish with the same record, hypothetically.
As the Phillies?
As the Phillies.
Oh, you'd have to rub it in Kyle's face.
I would forever.
Yeah, like dog crap. You'd have to get dog crap.
I would.
And put it in his face.
Yeah.
Just sprinkle some
Honestly,
confetti on it though while you do it.
Well, then I'll just rub his face in his own carpet then. You know?
Whoa! We need to get like a gun that shoots blanks. So when you do something like that, like shots fired.
Or like the reggae horn.
No. I want like a New England Patriots musket. Just open up the window. My toast to excellence. I had so many, but I'm just gonna give it to the Bears defense, Chicago Bears defense.
That Bears defense.
Now I get it. I get what all the critics are saying. Like it's Seattle's offensive line, but it's like it doesn't matter. Russell Wilson can still run like a lot. And they did a really good job of containing him. I think he only got out of the pocket like 3 times, and I think only turned 1 into a big gain for a first down. Other than that, they held him completely in check. And they sacked him a lot.
Absolutely.
And Danny Trevathan had a monster game.
He's just a monster in general.
Yep. Khalil Mack doing Khalil Mack things. Mm-hmm. Leonard Floyd. The whole front 7 there is just playing really well. Even though the secondary is playing really well, too. I'm not going to take that away from him. But
Fuller needs to learn to get his head around to grab some of those interceptions that come his way, though.
See, if he keeps dropping interceptions, I'm okay with it because I'm more concerned with like some of these like Cutler decisions that Trubisky's making.
Yeah.
Hey, come on now. This is a guy who played how many college games as a starter?
Don't care.
Okay,
13.
And he's only got 13 or 14 games under his belt
I think
in
he
the
now
NFL.
says
He's
one
played
more.
football his whole life. That's the thing. Like some of these decisions, like underthrowing your receiver like that, or missing the wide open in the end zone. That's just that's something that like I don't care how young you are in the game. You've been playing football your whole life. You know that it's not always the first option that you know that you have options 1, 2, 3, and 4, but you got to learn to scan the whole field first. And like that's something that you learn if you're good enough. You learn it at the high school level, and you kind of take it with you. And you improve upon it, of course. Like it's not Peyton Manning didn't play his first high school game and was like looking all over the field and finding every open receiver every time.
No, I'm going to cut the kid slack until the second half of the season because he's in his second new offense as a rook, and now he's in his second year. He's got a new offense.
And he'll have a new one the 3rd, the 4th, the 5th, because that's how Chicago Bears football's played.
Nagy won't go anywhere for the next couple of years.
Oh, no, but we'll fire an offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Just because.
But Nagy's the one making the play calls. That's
doesn't
why he's
matter.
hired.
We're still going to fire the offensive coordinator. It's what we do, Chris. It's what we do.
It's what you do.
Here's the thing. I'll say this forever. Jay Cutler wasn't always the greatest quarterback in the world, but he got the job done from time to time.
Yep.
Jay Cutler had how many head coaches / offensive coordinators in his entire time there? A lot. The answer is a lot.
Well, The other thing is Cutler never really had an offensive line in front
Right.
of him,
But-
and he never really had the offensive tools to go with him.
This is something that people
And he-
don't know about Jay Cutler. So the first year that they had Mark Trestman, I think it was the first year that they had Mark Trestman. Offensive-minded play caller for an offensive-minded quarterback. You know, big cannon type of guy. They had receivers at the time. And, and running
And
back.
then they let him go. Yeah.
Yeah, they let all of it go. So that year, if you recall, was the year that like Peyton Manning decided to go out and break every offensive record.
Yeah, that was his first year with the Broncos.
Yeah, where he went absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
7 touchdowns in the very first game against the Ravens.
The Bears were second
Were they?
in total yards that year.
Yes.
Oh, that
The
I
Bears
didn't
were
know.
second.
It was a good team.
The Bears were second in total yards.
Yeah, but
Cutler
if I
got
re-
the job done.
If I remember, the defense was absolutely.
Oh yeah, the
atrocious.
defense didn't play that great, and that's why we didn't win a lot of games. And you
Well,
know,
that
but
was the year they got rid of Urlacher.
that was the year after
Okay.
Urlacher retired. Briggs was
But
there, but he was on the,
Urlacher didn't retire. He got fired. They didn't want to pay him any money.
well.
So they said they gave him a contract offer that was like an insult.
Yep.
And he decided to retire instead. But if they'd have paid him the money that he was worth, I mean, come on. This is a guy who, I don't care if he didn't have the speed that he started out with. He still had the knowledge, and he could get everybody in the right place.
He was a leader.
Well, he called the defensive signals.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he would put people in the right, and you would see the guy. He'd be yelling at people on the field, get over there, before the snap. It was crazy. But he was that good.
Yeah.
You don't find a lot of that nowadays anymore.
Well, him and Charles Tillman kind of have the same story.
Yeah.
They were neither of them are ready to hang it up, but
Yep.
injuries take value away from a player like that.
Absolutely. Peppers got traded that year too, didn't he?
No, we bought out Peppers.
Yeah, he didn't get traded. He got bought out and was a free agent.
Yeah.
Oh,
'cause
that's right.
he
Okay,
wasn't
he went
producing,
to the Panthers.
That was when the Bears pretty
No,
much,
he went to the Packers.
yeah, he went to the Packers.
Oh,
first.
that's right. He went to the Packers
Packers, then he went to
first.
the
That's
Packers.
right.
Then he went to the Panthers.
That was the year that the Bears really decided that they were going to start changing shop on defense and kind of revamping stuff because after Urlacher got injured in that season, that was when we waved bye-bye to Chris Conti and Major Wright. Tim Jennings
Oh
retired.
my god, I forgot all about Major Wright.
We let Tillman walk because of all the bicep injuries and stuff that he had. Urlacher, Briggs. I mean, Israel Adonijah retired. Henry Melton we let go because of all the off-the-field issues he was having.
Yep.
And then, we kind of started trying to revitalize youth. We brought in a couple guys here and there. Jared Allen, stuff like that. And then slowly but surely...
Trying to bring in youth. Come on over, Jared Allen.
Hey, you
Well,
still
it's that
playing the
leader
higher level.
mentality, though.
Yes.
But it's that leader mentality,
Yeah. They had to replace Urlacher with somebody.
They had to bring somebody that could mentor, and who better than
Yeah.
Jared Allen? The
No,
guy,
nobody.
come on, every
And the
Monday Night
Bears
Football
too.
game, that guy went to the Culinary Institute of America.
And the Bears definitely got the best out of Jared Allen. That was,
left to
Left.
get. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I'm a huge Jared Allen fan.
I'm aware.
Sporting his jersey. The minute they signed a contract with the Bears, I went out and bought this jersey.
I remember.
The only one I didn't get was that I still need to find is an Eddie Royal one.
Ooh, that one's waiting in the wings somewhere.
Well, you got to get it because I have my Broncos one.
I don't care about that. I don't want to wear it with you.
Well, I'm saying we could all get matching Eddie Royal jerseys.
Yeah, but mine will be on a team that I like.
Hey, I like the Broncos.
You can't like every NFL team except look. You like every NFL team except for New England, Green Bay, Baltimore, and Cincinnati. And the only reason I don't put Cleveland is because they're so sad that you feel bad hating them.
Yeah, they don't.
You
deserve
can't
to be
hate.
hated by
You
anyone.
can't hate them.
It's like
with
hating.
Baker
It's like
Mayfield on
hating
the team now.
the late 2000s Braves. You just can't. It's not
the
fair.
late 2000s Bears. But listen, I like the NFL. I like it more than Pittsburgh. It's my favorite team, the team I root for. But I like football. I revere football more than I like the Steelers.
So you
And
don't
it's
actually.
known.
So you don't actually ever care if the Steelers are in the Super Bowl.
I care because it's a team I root for.
But you root for football more. So therefore, as long as the Super Bowl is a good Super Bowl.
then I
So like if you had to choose, let's just
Yeah, this is actually a good question because I know you're going with this.
all right. So let's say the Steelers are doing really well, right?
Mhm.
So say they're 16-0.
Okay.
And I know every game has the chance to be really good, blah, blah, blah. I understand that. Throw all that bullshit out the window. So, say you have the 16-0 Steelers, been through 65 touchdowns this year for 5,558 yards. Antonio
specific.
Antonio Brown had 2,400
Sure,
receiving yards. Le'Veon Bell broke the rushing record. Let's just
He actually
It's
has
just
to
a-
report to the team for that to happen.
James Conner broke the rushing record. So we'll just Michael Vick signed a contract, broke the rushing record. Whatever. You guys are the best offense and defense we've ever seen. And the Rams say they had a deflating year. Seattle ended up tweaking its way into the playoffs just like they did that one year at 7-9.
God, that pisses me off.
But those tweaked into 7-9, absolutely atrocious. They squeaked by on bad calls and just timely interceptions or fumbles.
Right. Okay.
Whatever. So that's the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
You more excited to see that Super Bowl, or would you be more excited to see like
New England
the
and Philly last year.
the 16-0 Patriots going up against the 16-0 like Vikings?
Well, I guess I'd be more excited to see the two 16-0 teams.
Exactly.
But-
you appreciate football more than the Steelers.
But I mean, it's like
Nope. Hey, if you ask me that same question, Bears all day. Even if they were the Seattle Seahawks version. Even if they were the shitty.
it's a loaded
I'm saying,
question.
even
'cause
if they were the
you
7-9.
You presented the Steelers to be this
Yeah, exactly.
juggernaut that it's just kind of like.
Yeah, but it's
Of
your
course-
team.
Of
But it's
course
your
I
team.
would root for the Steelers, but it's just kind of like if the Steelers don't win that game, then it's more disappointing than anything, rather than.
I would rather see my team in the Super Bowl. But I understand why it's frustrating for you because, you're a snob and have seen your team in the Super Bowl how many times in your lifetime. I've only had the luxury of seeing them once in one of the shittiest conditioned Super Bowls ever.
It was
See,
Yeah,
I
it's a
saw
bad
the
game.
Bears twice, so
Yeah, okay. Brag about it.
Yeah.
Brag about
and
it.
they won that year.
Brag about
I
it.
got a trivia question for you guys. As you know, it's always football.
How many stitches are in the throwback jersey?
Yeah, there we go. All right, Dan Marino's lowest
22.
passing yards against each team. I said that entirely wrong. Dan Marino's versus the Panthers has his lowest passing total.
All right, so he's butchering this terribly. So
Yeah,
Kendall,
his lowest total of all time.
yeah,
was
Kendall
against
likes
the Panthers.
Kendall likes to look up like a player's lowest total stat,
Okay.
and then
It's
this one just
interesting.
happens to be against the Panthers. So Dan Marino's lowest passing total of all time in a game.
122 yards.
Was Jake Delhomme in the court? No, I'm just kidding. Oh. 163.
I think it was. I think he had that a game less than 100 yards one year,
Oh, did it?
one time. Yeah,
Yikes.
it was like 95 or something like
Good
that.
thing there's no private stuff.
I have for this year on the NFL stat page 140 yards
Damn.
versus the Panthers. He's got a pretty impressive resume here.
Yeah,
521.
he was a pretty good quarterback.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's all right.
he was a great quarterback.
Not to mention,
Unfortunately,
he got kidnapped for a dolphin.
yeah.
Chris has never seen that movie.
Unfortunately, they had
Yeah,
nothing else.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean they didn't even have great receivers. He made them good.
Yeah. It was both Marks or something like that. I can't remember their names.
Mark Sanchez and Mark West.
That's
No,
it.
One's a mustached butt fumbler. The other one's a Pinot Noir from
Right.
California.
Yeah.
So going back to your Trubisky thing,
Okay.
you're worried that this kid isn't going to be any good.
No, it's not that. It's not that I'm worried he's not going to be any good. Here's the thing. I don't think Trubisky's going to be a great quarterback anyway. And that's not being negative. There are plenty of teams that have had success with a not great quarterback.
Phil Simms.
Phil Simms, Jim McMahon.
Yeah.
It's one of those things like, I don't think Jared Goff's going to be a great quarterback.
No,
I
he's
think
gonna
Jared
be-
Goff is going to be, I think Trubisky, Jared Goff, they have potential to be, at best, a Phillip Rivers quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And at worst, probably like an Andy Dalton. Which is still good. They're going to be good, serviceable quarterbacks that are probably going to quarterback their teams for years to come.
Mm-hmm.
And he could end up being the best quarterback the Bears have ever had.
Yes.
Right. And the thing behind it is that...
right now he's chasing Cutler.
Right.
Yeah.
And the thing is that much like the Rams, much like the Bears do now, much like the Bengals have had for a long time, a lot of good defenses to go off of, so he doesn't need to go out and be great all the time.
No.
He has to go out and be smart,
Yep.
but he can't go out and he doesn't have to go out and be great. You go like just for Phillip Rivers. Phillip Rivers has not always really had the defense, but he's always had a plethora of weapons around him.
Yes.
And Phillip Rivers, I don't care what anybody says, Phillip Rivers makes his entire offense better.
Absolutely. You take Philip
yeah.
Rivers out,
He's
you're not going
he-
to win any games.
Yeah,
It's a sad team without Phillip Rivers.
Yes.
yeah. It's probably
Well, he's another one of those quarterbacks that makes his receivers better.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. I mean,
he's a good
Brady's
quarterback,
one
yeah.
of those guys. Aaron Rodgers is one of those guys. And Phillip Rivers.
We don't say
and
that name at this
Drew
table.
Brees. And Drew Brees. Okay. I mean, those four guys, in my opinion.
Aaron Rodgers.
Get out. Get out.
But those four guys, in my opinion, make their receivers better.
Absolutely.
I can't help but notice that you didn't say Chase Daniels.
No, I didn't. No,
Patrick
He was
Mahomes.
intentional with that.
it's too early for Mahomes to be
Yes,
put in that
absolutely.
category.
Because I don't think he's going to come up and put anywhere out near the numbers that he did last week.
See, I hope the opposite. I hope Mahomes
I
does this all year.
I think he has the potential to do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I hope
And
he does it all year and then just shits the bed next year.
No. I hope he does okay this year. I hope
Here's
he.
the thing, and I know it's a shitty thing to say, but I am such a big fan of like these players that come when these players come out that aren't like the next big thing. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
And they
like
just
Ezekiel
come out of
Elliott
nowhere
was
and
the
become-
next big thing.
Yeah.
Saquon Barkley was the next big. Like
Yeah.
Myles Garrett was supposed to be the next big thing. Jadeveon Clowney, like these guys. But Patrick Mahomes was not the next big thing.
No.
He was not going to be the next
well,
big thing.
now there was a lot that I read before the draft when he was drafted that he could be the best quarterback in that draft.
But that's just it though. That's the reason I say he's not the next big thing because he said they could be.
Right.
He's not the
Right.
best quarterback. He could. Ezekiel Elliott was the best running back in that
Yeah.
class.
Oh, he was better than
Saquon
Todd
Barkley
Gurley.
was the best running back in that class.
Clearly.
Yeah, Ezekiel Elliott, in my opinion, is a better running back than Todd Gurley.
Yeah, absolutely.
Todd Gurley is a better multi-dimensional back.
Yeah.
He's a Matt Forte type of thing.
Yeah.
It's like, Matt Forte would do more for you every game than Adrian Peterson ever would.
Absolutely.
But Adrian Peterson's the better back.
Yeah. Better pure
Well,
back.
then.
Yeah.
Not now. They're both one's making albums with Common and the other one's rotting in Washington. But my thing is just that like
Forte is recording with Common?
they're the same
No.
person.
Same person.
They're the same person. Look up a picture of Matt Forte. There's actually a picture of Matt Forte and Common wearing the same suit in the same room, and they look almost identical. They're like the exact. Common's just got a little bit narrower of a head.
They kind of make the same face too.
Yeah, they look exactly alike. It's hilarious.
That's pretty funny.
Going back to the greatest quarterback in Chicago Bears history, Jay Cutler.
Well, stat-wise, he is.
Except for one, I think it's yards. I think Sid Luckman still has yards.
Could be.
I think Sid
Could
Luckman
be.
still has yards, but I think Cutler passed him in touchdowns, attempts, completions, interceptions, fumbles, sacks taken to the face.
Yeah.
But it's funny. You know who? You've met Kyle.
Yeah.
Chris, you've met Kyle,
Yeah.
of course. Rebecca, have you ever met Kyle? Rebecca's never met Kyle, so we'll have to introduce you guys at some point. But
He goes by coach.
his aunt thinks that Jay Cutler is like the sexiest man walking on a football field.
Jay Cutler looks like he just woke up on the underneath the bed. That's what he looks like when he.
See, I just love like him and Adrian Peterson are like boys off the field.
Yeah.
Like they're such good friends, and I just love it. They couldn't be any better. Like one of the best friendships in football. You know, it's always great when you have two division rivals that were friends off the field, and it always works out that way. Like it can be like that because it's like. Yeah, division rivals, but like when the hell are Adrian Peterson and Cutler ever going at it on the
Right.
field, you know? It'd be a lot different if like Anthony Barr and Cutler were friends. But it's so funny to me because you have Jay Cutler smoking cigarettes during halftime, and Adrian Peterson has thrown up repeatedly on the field for swallowing chewing tobacco while playing. It's just like the funniest thing that these two like advocates of tobacco use while playing football
Yeah.
are best friends on the outside.
Yeah.
It's just like, you want some of this cut? You got it, AP. Go long. Oh no!
Can I bring this back like 20 minutes ago and do a very quick anti-toast of excellence?
Oh sure, yeah. What's up?
Thank you to Brian Schottenheimer for officially ruining the Seahawks, finally.
All right. To Brian Schottenheimer.
To Brian Schottenheimer.
Okay.
Holy shit!
Here we go.
I didn't know this.
What did you know?
Rob Gronkowski was like almost traded to the Lions this offseason?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I don't
Patricia.
remember reading that.
And then Gronk said, absolutely not, I will retire before you trade me. And then they didn't trade him.
So, Kendall, could you imagine? Rob Gronkowski almost went to the Lions, and Tom Brady almost walked away from the Patriots this offseason, apparently.
Yeah.
Could you imagine?
One last ride, boys.
Would have been great, but, he'll play forever.
Brady?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure. He's like the Elon Musk of football.
I'll tell you what.
He's a robot.
If what's his face, the owner,
Kraft?
Kraft,
Yeah.
if he had to make a choice, he'd keep Brady over Belichick.
I think so, too.
Okay,
That's become such a weird dynamic. The three of them, like a power struggle. It's
Yeah.
just odd.
yeah.
Well, because I don't care what Mark says. Brady would be good without Belichick.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mark argues it all the time that Brady wouldn't be good without Belichick, and I understand. Belichick makes these amazing play calls, and he goes out and he always manages to get the right personnel. He keeps 53 egos in check every time.
Yes.
But Tom Brady is the one throwing the football. Tom Brady's the one adjusting the play calls because Belichick's not
Yeah, no, he
offense-
calls those plays at the line almost
Well,
every
you gotta
time.
you gotta
Belichick's not
realize
offensive play
something.
caller.
What
Yeah.
Belichick does for the Patriots is put in one of the best defensive game plans.
That's his roots, his defense.
Of anybody in the league.
And
he
offensive line.
understands. Yeah, well,
And
and
offensive
yes,
line.
yeah, and
Those
their
are his
offensive
specialties.
line is always going to be in the top 5 or 10.
Yeah.
But basically, it's what he does with the defense.
Yeah.
Okay, and then he's got, to my mind, and I hate saying it because I can't stand the guy, but Brady is probably one of the best football minds in football offensively.
I think Tom Brady is the best quarterback to ever play football.
Absolutely.
agree.
I will say it.
I agree, and
I think-
usually I'll argue for Johnny Unitas.
It's like I'll
Johnny Unitas changed the game, but nobody
I'll
has played
break
it with
down,
the efficiency that
like,
Brady has.
If you want to break it down, it gets different. Like, I personally think that Tom Brady's probably the best postseason quarterback of all time,
Oh, there's no question about
and
that.
then Montana is the best Super Bowl quarterback of all time. Never threw an interception.
Just stat wise, like playing
Okay,
in the Super
stat-wise,
Bowl only.
okay.
Because five Super Bowls?
4 Super Bowls,
Four Super Bowls,
Brady.
4
11
championships.
touchdowns. 11 touchdowns.
Never
like
threw
11?
a pick?
Never threw a pick.
Did he ever fumble?
I don't think he's ever turned the ball over in the Super Bowl.
Okay.
So just statistically wise, 'cause
Yes.
it's not like
Statistically,
Not that I
yes.
remember.
he threw for a lot of yards too.
And I've
It
seen all of them.
It wasn't like he threw for like 187 yards and
Right.
2 touchdowns. Like he threw for yards and stuff like that. The best regular season quarterback of all time is Peyton Manning, probably. But
Yeah.
encompassing all of it, it's I got to give it to Brady because
The man who has
The thing
made
is
it to
that-
the
here's
Super
the thing
Bowl
is-
in half of his seasons.
Well, 'cause-
50% of his seasons in the league, he's made it to the Super Bowl.
in my opinion, regular season quarterback Brady is third all time as the best
Behind
regular season
Rodgers?
quarterback. No, behind Manning and Breeze.
I just wanted to see you twitch.
No, behind Manning and Breeze.
Yeah.
I think Rodgers has a higher. If I were to like rate quarterbacks, whether it's today's or all time, Rodgers would be higher on my list for postseason quarterback than he would regular season quarterback.
You just have to make it to the postseason first.
But like for me, it's always going to be hands down Brady because like if you were to list the top, Brady's in the top 3 of all those, and none of the other ones are in all top 3. It's like we haven't, like Breeze can't be the best Super Bowl quarterback of all time. He's only played in 1. Yeah, he played great, but he's only played in 1. Peyton Manning, not a good playoff quarterback.
No.
Eli Manning, great playoff quarterback. Terrible regular season. Like, it's just how it goes. But he's really good.
Is Joe Flacco above or below the Andy Dalton line?
They're kind of just, well.
Joe Flacco is the Andy Dalton.
He's the
It's
new
a
Andy Dalton. And Andy Dalton isn't good yet.
So it's like my thing is I've always talked about it. Like for me, every NFL season, I kind of make this all up in my head to start. I have the 3 tiers of quarterbacks. I have the elite 8.
Yep.
And then I have the serviceable 8, and then I have the yikes, which are the bottom 8. And then at the end of the season, I always like to remake that. So this year, going into it, obviously there's been changes since the beginning of the season, but like some yikes quarterbacks for me were Trubisky, just because it's nothing against him. He just hasn't proven it.
Right.
You can't put him in serviceable.
No.
And I truly believe that the second half of the season he's going to be a ton better than he is right
Andy
now.
Nagy's
Fitzpatrick
offenses
was a yikes.
Yeah.
That obviously,
Yeah.
would change, but he's got to prove it that he can keep doing it.
It's every other year. It really is for
Yeah.
him.
He's so good. I love him so much. Did you see the
Fitzmagic.
Well, he just never gives it up.
But did you see the post game show that he did after the win last week?
No.
Oh my God!
He
yes.
took So he took Deshaun Jackson's cargo shorts and his like leather running jacket
Yeah.
and all his gold jewelry, and he came out looking like Conor McGregor to do the crazy. And they're like, he's like, I can only take two more questions. He goes,
Crazy
these are all D-Jack's clothes. I got to give them back to him. They're like, is it one of the reporters?
He can't leave yet.
Is any of it, because he's got the thing cut like, it's like cut open like this or whatever. They're like, is any of that yours? He goes, the chest hair's mine. He's living his best life right now. I love it.
yeah, he is.
Well, yeah, but even when he doesn't have a good season, he's exactly like that in an interview.
Yeah,
Okay,
a lot
I
of
mean,
fun.
he's a guy who's living the life.
He's out there
Yeah.
having fun.
Yeah.
That's the thing. He's out there having the best time every week. It's
Yep.
just like Josh McCown.
Yeah,
Like Josh McCown goes out there every week, whether he plays or he doesn't. He's just so excited to be in an NFL stadium, dressed up on Sunday to play football, and he was having fun. That's
Yep.
why he did well when he backed up for Cutler.
right.
That's
God, I remember that year when he came in back
one?
here for Cutler.
which one? Did it twice.
Twice.
Did he do it
Yeah,
twice?
Yeah.
yeah.
That's
And
why
He's
he
been a bear twice.
Was relatively successful both times.
Yeah. And then, but
Right before he went to the Browns then.
so like for me,
I mean,
like,
there was a while there where the people in Chicago wanted McCown to
Oh,
start.
I remember
Yeah.
that. That's
Over
what I'm
Cutler.
talking about.
All the time.
Hoyer too.
Yeah.
Hoyer too.
Hoyer.
But like AJ, he looks like AJ.
Yeah,
My thing is like the Elite Eight always kind of stays the same for me to start a season. For me, it's always Brady, Rodgers, Breeze, Stafford, just because of what he does with the football. I mean, he started off slow this year, but like Stafford, like
I love Stafford.
if he's down by 2 scores or less going into the fourth quarter, you might as well just take it count as an L for your team.
Pretty much.
The guy is just an amazing fourth quarter quarterback.
Yeah, he is.
Did I say Phillip Rivers? So Phillip Rivers. Who else do I throw on that list?
Guy for
Ben.
the Falcons.
Ben. I don't ever put Matt Ryan in there. I always put him on the top of the serviceable list because
What about Russell Wilson?
he has up and down years. Yep, Russell Wilson's always in that list because of the mobility and the ability to keep plays alive, and he's so good at doing
Except
that
against the
type of
Bears
thing. Oh, yeah.
last week.
Yeah. See, I hate Russell Wilson.
See, listen, your
With
list is
so
not complete.
much-
It needs to be re-altered since last week. Number 1 on your Elite 8, Baker Mayfield, right
No.
at the top.
No. He's no.
No, he's number 2.
If you take
Fitzmagic is 1.
If you're taking Baker Mayfield, you're taking Nathan Peterman with him.
Oh no!
Yeah, I hate Russell Wilson, and not a lot of people actually know the real reason as to why I hate Russell Wilson. I don't think
You
that-
hate him because he's from Wisconsin?
Nope. And it's not even his fault why I hate him. But do you want to know why I hate him? Uncle
Okay.
Bob, do you want to know why I hate
Yes,
Russell
I do.
Wilson?
I want to know why you hate Russell Wilson so much.
It's his rookie year,
Okay.
and he scrambles out of the pocket.
Yep.
PTSD, hold on. Charles Tillman is covering one of the receivers in the flat.
Yeah.
He dives at Russell Wilson's legs to make a tackle, but gets hit in the process going to it, so he doesn't get to wrap him up. Russell Wilson breaks free. Russell Wilson puts on a juke move and gets around Lance Briggs. Turns it up the sideline.
Which is a hell of a trick.
He's passing the first down marker now. But in the shadows, the monster of the Midway, Brian Urlacher, comes running up the field at his 85-year-old self at the time, full speed as fast as he can, trying to chase down Russell Wilson.
6'7" speed.
He dives, hits Russell Wilson, grabs him, wraps him up while he's also getting hit by a defender or a receiver. Brings him out of bounds. Russell Wilson has just ripped off a 35-yard run, but Urlacher stopped what would look like it was going to be a touchdown. Brian Urlacher doesn't get back up. Brian Urlacher never plays a snap of NFL football again.
What happened?
I think he tore his pectorals.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That was what happened.
Yeah.
That was his injury on the tackle because he got hit when he was going forward into him. He had wrapped up his arms around him, and then a receiver came in and was hitting him up.
Yeah.
And while he was still holding
Oh,
down,
that's
and
a
he
good
just
way to
ripped
do
his
that.
pectorals, and that was the last snap of NFL football Brian Urlacher ever saw.
Shouldn't you be more mad at the receiver that caused that than Russell Wilson?
No.
Okay.
Because if Russell Wilson didn't have the escapability he had, the play never would have happened.
And that receiver's probably playing up in Calgary right now, so
Yeah.
he's got the punishment.
So sad.
I do remember that play.
Because that was the year that the Bears defense was going fucking sick on defensive touchdowns.
Yeah.
Remember that we had 2 pick sixes against Romo.
Oh,
And
yeah.
that was the year that at his 6'7" speed, Brian Urlacher picked off Who was the quarterback for the Titans then? Was it Hasselbeck?
No, it was Locker still.
God, was it Jake Locker?
Yeah, it was
really?
still Jake Locker.
He picked him off, though, and returned it like 47 yards, hurtling an offensive lineman, taking it to the house.
Chris,
Oh,
what a memory. Jake Locker.
yeah. Well, you know why? Because Chris liked him.
Yeah.
Chris and Kyle would be really good friends because they have a list of quarterbacks that this is the next big guy that has sucked ass.
Never pans out.
So, how's Garoppolo doing?
Garoppolo's Pizza is not serving up any slices of defeat this year.
But this week, you watch out, Kyle. I know he's not here. But Garoppolo's Pizza is about to serve you up a slice. We burnt the crust last week, too. But you just wait.
His fantasy team name is Garoppolo's Pizza.
I hope he tears both of his ACLs
Oh, my God.
consecutively.
Oh, man.
No, come on. Don't wish that upon him. That's not fair.
I don't like him.
That's fine, but you guys are so much light years better than his team.
Yeah.
So here's the thing that I need you to understand.
Here's the thing I need you to understand, Chris. They have a bottom 10 defense, and the best player that's not Garoppolo on that team is 17,000-year-old Pierre Garçon.
Yeah.
That's the best player on their team.
Ruben Foster's pretty good.
No. The best player
Here's
on
what
their
I
team.
need you to understand. You remember when Jeff Fisher was coaching the Rams?
Who could forget?
Unfortunately, not me. That will be burned into my mind for the
Not
rest of my
enough
life.
people.
I became a Rams fan the year that they hired Jeff Fisher.
Just remember this, though. Just remember.
Poor man.
Jeff Fisher, Brian Quick. Hold on.
Chris Givens.
Chris Givens.
Who's my favorite player, Paul?
Why am I blanking on this?
D-back.
Oh,
Oh.
yeah, Finnegan.
Yeah.
Cortland
there you go.
Finnegan, yeah.
Finnegan.
So here's the thing. And
Danny Amendola.
so the thing that I'm most happy with
Glass Bradford.
is Jeff Fisher is now tied for the most losingest coach in NFL history.
Mm-hmm.
They fired him before he could become the losingest coach in NFL history. That makes me so happy that he couldn't even get that record.
Well, they did him justice.
He'll coach again.
He will.
He'll be back.
He's coaching high school. He's coaching high school football right
Yeah,
now.
right. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, but guess who was doing that before? Josh McCown.
Yeah. I'm not putting Fisher out on the field.
He was a tight end.
But
85.
still,
No, he was a cornerback,
He's
right?
a cornerback for
yeah, he was a cornerback. Did a lot of punt returns
For the 85 Bears.
Yes.
You know, can you name the other head coach that was on the 85 Bears?
Ditka wasn't on the Bears at that time, was he?
Ditka was the coach.
Rivera.
Sorry,
Ron
you said
Rivera.
the
Ron
85
Rivera.
Bears.
Ron Rivera, Panthers linebacker.
Oh, I knew that. I knew he coached with Fisher. I'm sorry, I was thinking back in the day. Back in the day. But when we would play any other team, we would suck. When we go to Seattle, we would play up to their level and usually beat them.
It's like Cleveland
Yeah.
for Pittsburgh.
That is the 49ers to us. They will always play up to our level.
But see, but that's how it goes, though. That's the thing. Is that every division has a team like that. Like, it doesn't matter how good the Ravens are or how good the Bengals are. They always play really, really good against each other. Just like the Steelers can be 15-0 team, but they will play down to the Browns that are 0-15.
Yes.
That's how that goes. And we talked about it last week. The Chicago Bears always put up a great game against the Green Bay Packers, and they always struggle against Detroit.
Yes.
Always.
Yep.
It doesn't matter what the records are. It doesn't matter who's. I mean, they could literally put Dante Culpepper on the Vikings, and we would still struggle because it's a division game. All those teams play really well within the division.
Yep.
Look at fucking New Orleans. New Orleans always has issues with Tampa Bay. Always.
Every single year.
When was
Well,
the
that
last time
entire
Tampa
division-
Bay was
That
really good?
entire division.
Yeah.
That entire division is just so messed up.
Yeah. Just like
Is it an even year
if
right
I could
now?
be,
Yeah.
if
So
I
the
could be
Panthers
any
are gonna
team in
win
the
division.
NFL, if I could be any team in the NFL, you know who I'd want to be? I'd want to be whoever the worst team that year is in the NFC East. Because everybody plays down to the worst team in the NFC East.
Yep.
That's just how you go into it. Okay, Giants finally have everybody back. They look healthy. The defense is in shape. The Cowboys, they lost some pieces, but they still have arguably the best running back in football. They have a young quarterback. They got some speedy receiver, Tavon Austin. But they have some.
He caught a 67-yard touchdown pass.
But they
I was
have-
very happy for him.
They have some speedy receivers, a good linebacking core, even though they're still shaken up a little bit on the secondary side. You know, the Redskins,
and a serviceable quarterback.
Right, don't sleep on the Redskins. They have a quarterback that's smart and doesn't turn the football over.
Is Heineken a twist off?
I
No.
don't know.
No,
I don't
okay,
think
just
so.
making sure.
I feel kind of stupid for this.
But that's the Redskins. They have a smart quarterback that doesn't turn the football over. They have a potential good running back duo if Peterson can stay healthy, type of thing. Alex Smith, doesn't matter who he's throwing the ball to. Those receivers are always going to get
Brian
open.
Quick.
But the defense is serviceable. It's not going to play lights out, but it's not going to be a wash up type of thing. And then
You have the Giants.
no, and then the Eagles. Whatever type of the same Super Bowl contender. Also, it's but doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Whoever the worst team in that division is has just as much chance of winning that division as the best team.
Yes, they do.
Every team in the division plays down to them.
Always.
Every single year.
I want to know when the last time a team in that division went
Undefeated.
6-0 in the division.
Kendall.
I can't remember.
Probably when we were in maybe in high school. I don't even know.
Last
Well, no, because when we were in high school, the Giants were like the better team.
This is
Back
why-
in the 80s, I think the Giants did it twice.
This is why I want Chris on the show all the time, because he'll pull up the stat immediately.
Mike
I
Mock
have
tries
to
to do
know.
that. Mike Mock tries to do that.
And look who's sitting in Mike Mock's chair. You hear that,
Chris
Mock?
Mock.
I'm just joking.
Chris Mock.
Chris Mock. Can we merge you into one person?
That hurts.
Yeah, can we call you Mike Massey?
Mike Massey. Oh, God. I feel itchy all of a sudden. It's too funny.
Mike Massey, Rita Souls,
Ooh. Yeah.
Paul Reed.
That works, though. I think, it's a very plain last name that I
What
have.
was what we were talking about? I was talking to Samantha about how I was going to take her last name because it sounds like I'm running for mayor. Hi, I'm Paul Kalani, and I approve this message.
Yeah.
It sounds like I'm running for office.
I'd vote for you.
Yeah, good.
I wouldn't.
Free beer for everyone.
It's a good platform to run on.
Hey, free beer
I
for
think
everyone. Football 7 days a week. You voting for me, Chris?
Sure, why not?
All right.
See? He was a swing vote right there.
Uncle Bob,
Yeah.
for you, NBC airs all Cubs games.
Okay.
So you can just pick it up on standard television without having to pay for that baseball thing.
Well, I don't pay for the baseball thing. I get the baseball. I get all sports for $26 a year. Every game that's going.
Fresh brewed coffee and top-notch black and tans.
I actually have. Oh yeah, okay.
You got my vote.
Sweeten the deal for him.
Pete, Cowboys
Yeah.
jerseys for everyone.
Talking about the Cubs,
Yep.
you do realize they're playing in the best division in baseball.
Yeah.
Okay, you're
I
gonna have
thought for a while the Brewers were going to take it.
well, and they still could because
Yeah.
the Cubs only have a 2.5 game lead.
Yep.
Okay, and truthfully, I think Cubs will. You're going to have 3 teams from the Central in the playoffs. Right now, both the Cardinals, the Brewers, and the Cubs are in the playoffs.
Yeah.
If the season ended today. On top of that, I think the bottom team in their division, which is
The Reds?
the Reds,
The Reds are awful.
but
Great jerseys,
they
though.
still. If you look at the last place team in every division,
Mhm.
the Reds are still better than
Yeah.
than I think all but one. Okay, and it's like, how do you? I mean,
Especially, too, the first part, too, is that it's the biggest division.
Well,
What do you
Don't
mean?
they have
they
five?
have 5. Yeah.
since when they moved the Astros,
Oh,
that-
yeah,
that
yeah.
kinda-
It went even.
It went
Yeah,
even.
it's
Yeah.
even now. Yeah,
Gotcha, gotcha.
every division has 5.
Hey, real quick, I know Chris, you had a stat you're going to tell us.
Yep.
Did you see there's a potential for in the NL a 3-team wild card? There's like a nightmare scenario where 3 teams could make the wild card, and they're gonna have to kind of do a rotation. Each team's gonna have to play each other to determine who has home field.
Yeah.
That could happen. I looked it up. It's confusing.
Oh, with a tie.
Yeah, if 3 teams have finished with the same record, I would like to see that, but it just seems like a disaster.
Well, yeah, because the playoffs, you don't have a week off between the end of the season and the playoffs.
And if you're playing the wild card, your best pitcher, your ace is on the mound. So if you have to,
you're talking about baseball. Okay, I
Yeah.
thought you were talking about football.
No.
'Cause, yeah, well, no, there's games off, and that's just regular season.
Yeah.
You're talking that, but now that screws up the pitching rotation for the first series.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and like you said, too, because if you have to play 2 games, It means your ace is only pitching one.
Yeah, you got to determine like, well, hey, do we play our second guy first and hope something good happens to have our ace ready for wild card? It's interesting.
But that's going to push the start of the first series, the division series, off.
Yeah.
Could be a couple of days, because I think they only have 2 days between the end of the season and the beginning of the playoffs.
I think so.
The wild card playoff game, and if they have a three-way tie, they got to play. What?
Could you imagine? Hey, we got to meet in a neutral location. We got to bang these games
out.
Well,
it could end up with just 2 games, if one team wins the first 2 games.
Right.
Okay, but if it doesn't, if they end up splitting, you could be looking at a 3 or 4 game series between 3 teams,
which would be awesome.
Here's what I think. Hear me out. 9-inning baseball game, but a top, a middle, and a bottom. Team A pitches to Team B. Team B pitches to Team C. Team C pitches to Team A. Play 1 game. Whoever gets the most runs wins.
I like this.
Yeah, it might work.
Hey, it's worth a shot.
It'd be really interesting to watch.
I'd pay.
But I mean,
that.
this could be a very historical year. That's all.
Or what if you do it this way? Team A pitches and catches. Team B fields. Team C hits.
Ooh.
Then Team B pitches. Team C fields, and Team
out.
A hits. That way, the two, because obviously both teams, the teams that aren't hitting want to win.
Yeah.
So they're going to, the pitcher's going to pitch his best stuff.
Yep.
And the defense is going to play their best defense.
Now, when you say pitches, that's the pitcher and catcher.
Yep.
Okay.
Pitcher and catcher, and then the infield minus the catcher, and the outfield are the other team. Or you could even do a whole infield and an outfield.
That's
Here we go. All right, let's break it down even more. Pitcher, catcher, base coaches, Team A.
Oh.
For you listening at home, are you taking notes?
Yeah. Get your scorecards ready. Imagine the game score. Imagine the
MLB,
game card for
take
that.
notes.
Yeah.
All right. Team B error. Team A no run scored on Team B error. Team A 2 ERA average doesn't affect Team B. Stolen bases. For
I think
team
they'd have
C.
to make new stats. There'd have to be,
That would be awesome.
earned
You know
runs
what'd be really
allowed
awesome,
at the.
You know what'd be really cool? Some catcher, I guarantee you, if they did it that way, would have the only stat probably in the history forever. Say it was whoever, but whatever catcher would be the only person to ever throw out a base runner to somebody not on their team.
That'd be pretty
That
cool.
would be
If the
interesting.
catcher if the catcher picks you off trying to steal second, the catcher from Team A is throwing it to the shortstop on Team B. So he threw you out to a different team.
Yeah, that's true.
That's awesome. Nobody else is going to have that stat.
That's a good point.
If that was even a thought in the MLB, as the catcher, I'd be like, I want this. Let's do it. Let's do it. Oh, that'd be so awesome.
So to
And
answer your
just
question,
think about it. Just think what a bench clearing brawl would look like.
that would be awesome.
Yeah.
Who do you take swings at?
I mean, they'd
That's what
have
I'm
to
saying.
build a temporary dugout.
Right
No,
behind home
they just
plate.
they just
Right
no, no,
behind home
they
plate.
Wrap
just
around
they just
it.
take the bullpen. That's the third dugout.
Oh yeah, but see,
That's too far.
in Chicago now, the bullpen's under the stadium.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
They moved it there last year. They moved both of them there.
Good. The less Cubs I see, the better. No, I mean, I don't
And
hate
that's the crooked one.
Crooked one.
You want to see some crooked fingers? Look at this guy's hands. Show him.
I got some.
little bit.
Come on now.
That's unique, is what that is.
Well, that's just going to be you in a few years.
It just kind of forms into that.
And it's starting on this hand. Now.
Yeah.
This one's
I mean, I don't hate the Cubs. It's just, it's fun to.
Yeah.
It's always fun when you have like
Razz,
the
razz.
in-city rival you can shit on.
That's right. You're a White Sox fan. You see, that's what I don't get. I lived in Chicago, and man, I loved both teams.
Yeah.
The White Sox and the Cubs. I loved them. I would get tickets to whoever was home, and I wanted to see both of them win and be successful.
Oh, I mean, I would love that. Like, don't get me wrong. I would. There's nothing I'd love more than to watch the White Sox and the Cubs in the World Series together.
Well, I don't know if that'll ever happen, but I
Well,
would love to see it.
The first 3 weeks of last season, everyone thought it was going to happen.
Yeah.
When the White Sox won 20 of their first 25 games and then lost the next 100. But like, I mean, I don't dislike it. It's just like I said. It's just like it's
It's fun to have that team, especially like a cross-town
Right,
rival.
it's like the Yankees for you.
Right.
Like, well, I mean, you actually dislike the Yankees, though. But you
Yeah,
have a
so
lot of
do I.
reasons, too.
Yeah, it's just, you know.
But it's different.
I have the best reason in the world to.
What?
They fired Yogi Berra. Okay, after he took them to the seventh game of the World Series, they lose to Mazeroski on that ninth inning home run. They fired him 2 days later. Okay, and I mean it's like,
Chris, you a Yankees
and
fan?
then who did they hire?
Cardinals fan. Ashley's.
Who did they hire? Ralph Houck. And they had the 5 worst years in the history of the Yankees under Ralph Houck.
I didn't even know that name. I got
Yeah.
Oh, Chris, did you get your stat?
Yeah.
Sorry, we completely went off the rail on that.
That's all right. So, the last team to go undefeated in the NFC East.
Division or undefeated?
Division.
Okay.
In division, yeah. Sorry, stumbling over words.
So I was like, none.
Last team to do that was the 2004 Philadelphia Eagles.
Oh.
The closest team to have gotten, or to almost gotten to that point, were last year's Philadelphia Eagles,
5-1.
who dropped the ball at 6-0 the last game of the season against the Cowboys.
Oh, wow.
6-0.
So,
That was Foles' only loss, right?
Yeah.
in 2004, that was Donovan McNabb for
Yep.
Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Wow.
Was that
Swept the
year- was that
NFC
the year they
East.
lost to the Patriots?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was. That's crazy.
It's
Both,
not-
I knew
both
it-
Super Bowl years.
I would say I knew it wasn't the Giants because didn't both times the Giants beat the Patriots? Weren't they the wild card?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Was it both
And
times?
I think
barely
so.
squeaked in.
The Giants made one of those appearances on a muffed punt by the 49ers.
Both times I think
Oh, I
Cowboys won the
remember that.
division. I think.
Yeah.
New chair. Peter needs a new chair. We're talking and randomly it'll just kind of sink.
Do we want to throw out some predictions?
For what, this week?
Sure.
No, that's the last hour.
That was it?
we
go
can
around.
talk. Well, do you want to do a break? You want to keep flowing? Up to you.
I'm good. I got beer.
No, we got to do, we're going to come back next hour, because you got your list of some quarterback stuff you want to talk about.
Yeah.
Ooh, all right.
Chris Massey's going to do a little bit of fantasy talk.
That he is.
Some starts and sits for the week.
I'll have you guys look at my team. God, I need help.
Yeah, you do.
I need help.
Like a lot of it. Uncle Bob?
Yeah.
Do you have anything you'd like to talk about the next hour?
Well, I'd like to talk about basketball. It's coming, man.
Yeah?
It's going to be coming, yeah.
So we're gonna talk-
It's gonna
we'll
be
talk
an
some
interesting
basketball.
season.
Basketball sounds good.
We're going to talk some
And
basketball.
of course, the Bulls.
Doubles.
God, Jabari Parker's
Doubles.
so ugly.
What?
Jabari Parker's so ugly.
Yeah.
Please tune in the next hour when we find out that Kevin Durant has been traded to the Los Angeles Rams.
Yeah. I can see it. Yeah, we'll take a break. We'll take an extended second hour. Yeah, we got some exciting stuff talking about. Ooh, return of Khalil Mack.
That's right.
Ooh.
Do the Bears play the Raiders at all this year?
No, but that would be fucking hilarious.
Yes.
Especially like, 'cause
yeah.
that would be the one that where Khalil Mack tears his ACL.
Yeah.
We'll be back shortly.
And now, back to Getting Sports with Drunk on the PPRN Radio Network.
Welcome back to Getting Sports with Drunk. I'm your hostess, Cupcake the Riddler, and I'm joined by assholes. All of them.
What's up?
A whole bunch of them.
I'm a flaming one.
A flaming one.
Love it.
Yeah, so we're back. We're still joined here by Uncle Bob
Yeah.
and the Mass.
What up?
Mike Massey.
Mike Mass.
Such an ugly name. It's so
I will
horrendous.
not be returning.
Oh, and of course, the Red Baron.
Yeah.
Rita's here, but she's too enthralled with looking at children's books online to talk with us about WWE.
I really
stuff.
thought you were going to go in a very different direction with that.
We're not going to talk WWE stuff anymore because I had this whole segment for Undertaker Kane, but she doesn't care. So that's the end of that, I guess.
You got her attention right there.
Well, she's too busy, looking like a hamster right now with all that coffee in her mouth. So let's do what?
We're Facebook Live.
We are Facebook Live.
Facebook Live, hooray.
Yes,
Uh-oh.
I'll go share it.
That way, talk with us.
Talk with
Converse.
us, chat with us. Hi, Peter. I'm
Hey, Peter.
I'm sure you're there already.
Who's Peter?
Peter's
Who's
the guy that-
Peter? Oh my God.
PPRN.
I know
Peter
who Peter
Pinhole
is.
Radio Network.
He's your father.
My father.
He's all of our father.
All right.
Father
Wait a
of our
second.
radio careers.
That makes me your grandfather.
Yes.
Okay.
Uncle, grandfather, Bob.
Where do you think the Chicago roots come from?
Yeah.
Yeah, Uncle Grandfather Bob.
Uncle Grandfather Bob, I love it.
Uncle Grandpa.
The Souls family. So yeah, let's see. Peter's there. Hi, Peter. Or is that you?
No, it's Peter.
Hi, Peter.
Hi,
Hey, Peter. Enjoy working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what we're doing? We're drinking beer and coffee.
On a Sunday.
Sunday.
See, here's the thing. I think that there's some swinging going on. I think Peter and Rebecca are shacking up, and I think Kendall and Ricky are shacking up. I get the
Could
serious
be.
because like every time we go to the hi Peter, hi Rebecca, oh my God, hi, and then Kendall's always just happening to go to Ricky's
Ricky,
work after
yeah.
the show to drop off the modem, but
Yeah.
somehow dropping off the modem takes 45 minutes.
Yeah.
He tries to tell me that he's embalming a cat, but
Wow! Oh my God!
We're gaining viewers.
but
Paul Riddell, the next Colin Coward.
that's me.
Oh God! that was worse than what he said.
I know.
Yeah, that guy's got a great voice though. Great voice.
Yes, he
Yeah.
does.
All right, so we're gonna talk some basketball this hour. We're gonna talk a little bit about fantasy football. The Mass wants to weigh in on some of his fantasy stardom sims. So let's kick off with that. Let's go right into that.
All right.
So we got some intriguing matchups, which we'll get to in the third hour. Our NFL season long third hour predictions. Uncle Bob, you were a fan of those last week?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I also did pretty well.
Yeah.
Aside from the Dallas game.
Yeah.
I would say so.
We all dumped on that one.
Oh yeah.
But that was like week one when we all just sat here and we were like, do we really have to talk New Orleans, Tampa? New Orleans 100, Tampa 10.
Yeah.
Sure enough, we didn't even leave the studio and Tampa was up 14 points. I was like, oh my God. I'm like, what happened?
It's magic happened, baby.
Yeah.
So we'll go right down the line. So quarterbacks, you got give me a couple starts and sits.
Well, you got the obvious one. You got Patrick Mahomes going up against a bottom feeder defense in the San Francisco 49ers, so you should absolutely be starting him.
Okay.
I'm going to go with the dark horse pick here.
Yeah, Peter did do well with the score on the Dallas game.
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
was
and
right
he'll
there.
remind us of that.
He just
If
did.
he did, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with the dark horse here. I'm going to go, you should be starting Ryan Tannehill this week against the Oakland Raiders. The Raiders
I like that.
have not shown anything to me on their defense.
And I think Parker's back this week.
Yes.
So gives him another weapon.
Yes, absolutely.
And he's been utilizing
And
Stills well.
And I just believe that he's an underrated quarterback and has been. He's just sneaky good.
He's
sneaky
gets it
good.
done.
For me, he's a start this week because he's going against the Medicaid-sponsored Oakland Raiders defense.
So what are you saying? They're bad or something?
I'll do the sleepers for each position.
Do the sleepers? All right.
We'll do 2 starts, 2 busts?
Sure.
Two
Let's
starts,
go
2 sits?
2 starts, 2 sits.
All right, so who's sitting for quarterback?
Sitting for quarterback, I am sitting whoever is playing for the Titans this week. I don't think Mariota's back.
Why are they playing?
They are playing the Jaguars.
Ooh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
No Delaney Walker, no bueno.
That could be a shutout.
Yeah. And I believe I'm going to be the obvious one. Do not play Josh Allen this week, please. Playing up against that Vikings defense. Good Lord. I worry for his health.
This could be where he becomes the greatest quarterback of all time. This is his indoctrination
for a
right
week.
here.
He is going to pass Nathan Peterman for the most picks in the first 10 minutes.
Hey,
It could be.
for him.
So I'll do quarterback sleeper of the week. Mitch Trubisky.
Well, yeah, he's going up against
Yeah, he's going up
the
against
Arizona D. Which,
30th ranked defense.
Yeah.
And he has shown through 2 weeks that he loves Allen Robinson.
Yep.
And
a good person to love.
Gabriel's got speed, and Burton, and he's got the 2 backs are starting to prove well. So I would look for Trubisky to really start. I wouldn't.
Tariq still injured?
I think he's
Playing hurt?
Yeah, I think he's playing hurt.
Okay.
My thing though, don't panic on it if you do decide to start him. If you're like in a deep league, or whatever, and you need someone to go. I wouldn't. I think the Bears are going to try to go back to Chicago Bears football. I think they're going to hit the ground running this week.
Absolutely.
And then I think they're going to really try to get Trubisky working hard on that, perfecting that play action. because he's probably got the meanest teams
Cast
for play
to do
action.
that, yeah.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I think the Rams will give him a little bit of a challenge on that.
yeah, but the reason I say that we have the meanest is because we have 2 running backs that can catch.
We have John Kelly.
Who?
Moving on.
All right, running backs. Who are your
Running
2
backs.
starters?
Dalvin Cook is out this week, so I'm going to tell you should start Latavius Murray.
I have him. He's starting.
I mean, as he should. I really feel like the Vikings are just going to pound the ball this week. Just to why wouldn't they? You're going to be able to run through the Bills' defense, and you'll be able to minimize the turnovers on that. So you're going to look for him to score about 2 touchdowns, I think, and probably get about 100 yards on the ground.
You hear that, Souls? Serve up a slice. Murray style. Terrible.
I'm just going to pee in this and you're going to drink it.
That's fine. Send it.
Next up is TJ Yeldon for the Jaguars going up against
Sad.
the Titans. Now, Fournette is going to be out for the foreseeable future, unfortunately, it looks like. That hamstring is probably going to dog him all week. Reports came out this week and said. So, Yeldon is pretty good pickup in some fantasy leagues if you had Fournette.
I also have Yeldon.
Kendall's the backups have been really sitting on the bench.
I've acquired a lot of backup running backs who are now starters this week.
All right, what about your Siddums?
Siddums. This week I'm sitting Melvin Gordon against the Rams because if we look at the last 6 quarters that the LA Rams have played football, all goose eggs. No points allowed. Granted, it was the Raiders and the Cardinals, but you get that scary-ass D-line with Brockers and Sue. Ain't nobody running up in the middle on those 2. 49ers, I'm benching Breda. I'm not trusting him to run against that defense. They're going to force him into the pass. They're going to be playing behind.
It's fair.
Who do you got for sleepers?
Giovanni Bernard.
Yeah, that's fine. Mixon, I don't know what he...
Mixing out, the Bengals running backs are never like a must-start guy anyway.
in any situation.
But, they have A.J. Green, and they've got other, weapons that Dalton likes to hit, so it makes the play action a thing that they like to do, and the only way to get play action going is to run the football. Giovanni Bernard has good hands out of the backfield. He's a very good, and he's always been a serviceable guy for that team.
Yeah.
He knows the playbook inside and out. He was upgraded to the full snap count running back this week in practice. He took full practice reps all week long, and not that he needed them, because like I said, this guy knows the playbook inside and out. As long as, Marvin Lewis isn't fired, he'll be starting at some point during the season.
And I'm sorry, who are the Bengals playing?
The Bengals this week are playing the Panthers.
Panthers.
And I don't think the Panthers defense hasn't been hasn't wowed me yet this
They're
year.
they're mid-season
Yeah.
form. They're not doing anything special
Right.
yet.
And so and the secondary for me is not great.
No.
So they're gonna probably be double teaming Green, and that's just gonna open up underneath things for Giovanni Bernard.
Fair.
Wide receivers.
Wait, what about your sleepers besides Giovanni Bernard? Do you have anyone
I only
else?
do one.
Oh, you only do one?
One.
All right. We're talking wide receivers now. Starting, I'm going to go with a bit of a homer pick on this one, even though he's not in my league.
Cooper Kupp.
No. Brandon Cooks.
Gross.
Brandon Cooks has been missed on a couple of deep play action shots by Jared Goff, but
still 4th in the league in receiving yards.
Yeah. So I think this is the week that they finally connect. Casey Hayward can only cover one of those 3 receivers, and I think he's going to be focused on the shorter routes on Woods and everything. Let the safeties cover him. Cooks is going to go off for 2 touchdowns and 150 yards.
Wow.
I'm calling it now.
All right.
Second one?
Second receiver.
Some bold ass shit, Chris.
Second receiver, I'm going with Calvin Ridley. Calvin Ridley of the Falcons. Going up against the Saints.
Yeah.
Yeah. Playing a division game. Calvin Ridley's been getting looked at more and more as the season's
Well,
gone
they
on.
have to because they're double teaming everybody else.
Exactly.
And this kid's a rook, so.
Exactly.
And I could be wrong for this in the long run, but I dropped the Saints defense because
not these first few weeks. You're not wrong.
They have not appeared to be in.
I traded Denver's defense and Danny Amendola. Or no, I traded Chris Hogan and Denver's defense before the season started to get my Chicago Bears defense back. And now Mike Mock's brother's really mad at me because they've scored more points than like everybody except the quarterbacks on this team. The Bears defense has put up 45 points in 2 weeks.
Let's see. For Siddums, I'm going to go for. Let's see.
Oh, you're gonna want to go ahead and just sit everybody. Everybody in the AFC South.
Everybody in the AFC South is sitting this week. That's it. Thanks for tuning in, everybody.
Thanks.
I have a question about Goodwin from the 49ers, his health.
Goodwin, I believe, is expected to start today. He's going up against the Chiefs defense. Eric Berry is probably going to be covering over the top a lot. He gets hit, he's going out of the game. I'm just calling that now. He's fast. He's not durable.
Do you recommend with an injured Goodwin to not play him at all? I'm asking for a friend. I have one friend. It's me.
Well, here's the thing. You got Jimmy G throwing the ball. They're going to be playing from behind, so they're going to be throwing to Goodwin a lot. And they're going to be deep shots.
All right.
What do you have to lose?
Yeah, who do you have on your
nothing to
bench?
lose. Here's my receivers. I have Golden Tate,
Okay.
Goodwin, and Cooper Kupp. Those are my receivers.
I would...
Cooper Kupp.
Cooper Kupp.
So
Definitely start Cooper Kupp over...
How did this turn into like AA of fantasy football for Kendall right now?
I don't know.
because I'm in a dark place right now.
Kendall, let's put it this way: everybody on your team, Siddums.
You know, it's funny. I've done this every year. Chris Gregg is not playing for any foreseeable future. On the app now in Yahoo Fantasy, you can't even. There's not even an option to do anything with Gregg. It's you know the circle around the player. It's just a blank thing on the roster. So I can cut him, but I can't do anything else with him. He's just on my roster as a.
That's funny.
Just put him in your IR spot.
I can't. Bell is in my IR spot.
Oh, you took Bell.
You took with the
Rookie
10th pick. And that was before we knew when he was going to sign.
So-
when he was or wasn't going to sign.
I'm not.
All right, that's a
I'm not
worthy
making
risk.
any excuses
I
because I, had
think
a
Bell's
horrible.
going to retire.
There's no way. He'll come back week 10, and then they won't have anything towards him.
I'm not making any excuses. I had a horrible draft.
He's going to
But
retire.
I was set up I was like, okay, Bell will be a man. He'll come play week one.
No, he
that was. Well, this was before the season started. So I think Julio Jones was my first pick, and I took Bell because I had the back-to-back. At that point, I'm playing with the 10, 11 pick, the end of every round. And then what happened was somebody drafted a defense, and then everyone freaked out. Not Riddler or Souls or anybody like that, but it's kind of like the other people in our
Everybody
league.
else, yeah.
They kind of panicked, and it kind of set chaos to the league, and it was just a disaster for me afterwards.
I'm sorry, we have a 13-person league, and I remember my very first year that I was in the draft, probably 4 years ago. My uncle took Jeremy Shockey with the 4th-round pick. No, with a 2nd-round pick, and
Gross.
everybody freaked out.
Who did that?
One of my uncles.
Is your uncle's name Rebecca Sanderson?
Anyway, please continue.
One more stardom this week.
No, you did 2 startums.
I'm going to throw one more in.
No, go ahead. Come on, we got
Nelson
basketball to talk
Aguilar.
about. Nelson Aguilar?
Yeah.
Okay.
Got
All right.
Carson Wentz coming back this week. TD bombs for days.
Right now I'm really struggling with if I should start him or not. All right, go ahead.
Sit T.Y. Hilton. Just sit him.
Who's you playing?
Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, but the defense hasn't looked lights out.
no,
Sit T.Y. Hilton.
no, they haven't.
All right.
Going to put pressure on Luck. He's going to miss T.Y. Hilton on a couple deep bombs.
All right. Any other sleepers?
Yeah, go for sleepers for wide receivers.
Oh, Josh Gordon all day.
Absolutely.
Josh Gordon all day. If you have him on your team, start him.
Flash, Return of the Flash.
I am starting Tom Brady in every league I have him just because Josh Gordon's on that team now.
Yeah.
And it's only going to get better for the Patriots because now they have Josh Gordon for week 3, who's going to play good but probably not great. He's probably going to still get 7 receptions for 80 yards and a touchdown.
Probably.
But then week 4, he's probably going to play absolute lights out because he'll have the playbook under his belt. And then just in time for everyone to start double teaming him, Julian Edelman comes back for week 5. So the Patriots are on their way to a nice AFC Championship game. So
Standard for them.
yep. So Josh Gordon, sleeper, but don't sleep on him.
But he's a sleeper.
Tight ends.
Yeah, we picked a bad week not to do private stock. We've been
Correction.
Riddler
Riddler
and I-
great week not to do it.
Riddler and I have been wheeling and dealing in some corny stuff.
His name always escapes me whenever I try to think of it. I think it's Jermaine Gresham, Cardinals tight end.
As a start?
Yeah.
Wow.
Against the Bears?
Yeah.
Could you elaborate?
We're done here. Bob, we got to get out of here.
I just think that's. I would sit him.
Start him?
I'm going to start him against that Bears defense.
Starting Jermaine Gresham?
Yeah,
He's an old man now.
I know.
I think this is the first time Jermaine Gresham's ever been on a startup team.
I think this is the first time he's ever been mentioned on this show.
All right, seriously, going back to the real starters.
You just did that to bust your chops. That's
To
all.
bust his. Zach Ertz is starting against the Colts.
And mine.
Yes. Zach Ertz is starting against the Colts.
Yep.
And Travis Kelce is starting against the 49ers.
Yep. I like that.
Sitting?
Whoever the hell is playing for the 49ers at tight end right now, I think that's Kittle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Greg Kittle.
Yeah. And do the Raiders even have a tight end? Oh, yeah, it's Jared Cook. Drop him. He had his one good game for the season. He's not worth anything anymore.
Stonehands.
Jared Stonehands Cook.
Two sleepers, Trey Burton for the Bears, just because I think the Cardinals defense is really going to struggle for the pass game. I don't really know what to expect in terms of what the Bears are going to do passing-wise, but Robinson, we said earlier, has obviously been a favorite target.
Yep.
So I think that there's going to be a lot of attention to him. There's going to be a lot of attention to Gabriel because of his speed. There's going to be a lot of attention in the box for the two running backs, both catching and running. So I think Trey Burton could very easily have a very good game quietly off the bench there, off the sleepers. And I'm gonna actually do a second sleeper, Jesse James.
Jesse James,
Yellow.
okay.
Yeah, I think that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, their defense hasn't really proven that they're going to be like a lights out defense.
No.
But they're definitely in shootout mode, type
Yeah,
of thing.
I
And
don't
they're
know
gonna-
if... I don't... Go.
I think they're really gonna have a lot of attention and focus on Schuster. They're not gonna, Brown's gonna be looking to have a big comeback game from last week because he didn't play lights out like he normally does.
Trade me then.
And so I just think that I think he's gonna be looking to have a bounce back week, but I think that the Buccaneers are gonna be geared up for that. So I think that Jesse James is always that guy that he's Jesse James. When I say sleeper, I'm not telling you he's gonna go out there and put up 28 points, but Jesse James very easily could walk out of this game with 4 receptions for 25 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
That's a lot of points for a tight end.
I don't know how much I like the matchup between him and Quan Alexander. I think that favors Quan Alexander more than it does Jesse James.
Well, what Jesse James has is he's a taller guy. I don't know off the top of my head how tall he is, but
I know,
What
he's
he
basically a red
has
zone
is that he's a
receiver.
Midwestern bad guy. Okay? That's what he's got going for him.
He's a
guy's
red
gonna-
zone receiver.
That guy's showing up in assless chaps with spurs and a hat, and he's going to destroy everybody.
he better.
Jesse James fits magic.
Tune in this Sunday.
Even though it's Monday.
Monday.
Okay.
But tune in this Sunday
Private
anyways.
stock all around. All right, we're not doing kickers.
We'll do kickers.
All right, one starter, one sit. Here's your starter, Robbie Gould. Why? Because he's awesome. He's good as Gould. I don't have to take private stock for that one. That was the 49ers. They made that first. Sit him. Anybody that's kicking for the Chargers ever.
Don't start Sam Ficken either.
I don't know who that is.
Kicking Sam Ficken.
Oh, God. Chris, you just
Listen, that's
is bad.
that's an actual
Sleeper.
thing.
Is
Here's
it?
the sleeper.
That's an actual thing.
There's always 2 sleepers. For me, every time we've ever done one of these, there's always 2 sleepers for me, and they never change. Whoever's kicking field goals for the Pittsburgh Steelers, whoever's kicking field goals for the Chicago Bears. Both teams, the Chicago Bears, between midfield and the red zone, really like to stall out on drives, and the Pittsburgh Steelers really like to not get it done in the red zone. A lot of field goals.
Yep.
Both those teams kick a lot of field goals.
Yep.
Score
We should
touchdowns.
absolutely be starting whoever's going to be starting for the Browns this week.
All right, defense.
Defenses.
Start of the week, bro.
Start of the week.
Chicago Bears.
Definitely going to want to start the Vikings against that atrocious Bills offense.
Nah, Chicago Bears, man. Chicago Bears.
All right, and second we'll go to the Chicago Bears.
You know why? You know why the Chicago Bears? Chicago Bears get defensive touchdowns. And lots of them.
Definitely
gonna-
start the Vikings
They're
defense.
going to live in the backfield today, too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they are. Absolutely. Against that atrocious
Khalil
Cardinals
Mack-
offense.
Khalil Mack is going to have 19 forced fumbles, 27 fumble recoveries.
Come on now. I don't think he's going to have that big a game. I think he's going to end up being triple teamed.
I think
That means everybody else on the D line and is going to go crazy.
I said I got a call into the NFL radio, NFL Network Radio on Sirius XM when we were doing when they were talking about the Khalil Mack trade and all that stuff. I got a phone call in. If Khalil Mack finishes the season with 5 sacks, I'm not going to be disappointed at all.
No.
Because that means everybody
Everybody
else on
else
the team
is
is going to
gonna
have
have-
5 sacks.
Yeah,
I want
exactly.
Trevathan to be like, hey, remember me? That's what I want.
So your sit-em defenses for the week absolutely sit this the Los Angeles Rams defense.
Really?
They're not going to be able to hold down Phillip Rivers. We might get a pick off of Phillip Rivers, but he's going to shred us for like 300 yards. It's going to go up into the 40s for points. I promise you that.
Wow. All right.
Um,
I don't think anybody's going to like sit them though. I don't think anyone's going to not start them.
I have them on my team. They're starting.
And credibility's gone.
Looking for the glory all your own.
No. More so because I do not want to give up a roster spot to pick up a different defense for this week.
I already did it. I dropped Danny Amendola to pick up a second defense for when the Bears are on the bye. Not dropping him.
I'll do that when it comes up. I have too many starters for different teams that I'm going to look
Hi,
to
Virginia.
trade.
And Ryan and Chris.
What?
Sorry, Facebook Live chat. People are.
Oh, all right. What were we doing? We were doing sit-em defenses.
Yep.
You're absolutely going to want to sit the Arizona Cardinals defense because
So what are you saying? They're bad or something?
This could be the best thing in the world for Mitch.
this is going to be the boost of confidence that he needs to get going out of the gate. What better time to develop the play action, like you said?
They are who we thought they were.
R.I.P. Dennis Green. We remember you forever.
Dennis Green. Going off of that, are you guys going to be the one, or what's the over-under on how many more games Bradford lasts before he's out?
I think he plays the whole season.
Do you?
Hmm.
You don't think he gets injured?
If he gets injured, it's this week.
He plays 6 more games. Tonsillitis. It's a shame.
I think if he can withstand Chicago this week, I think he plays all season.
Okay. I'm going to steal your sleeper pick.
Okay.
I'm going to go for a homeboy pick. Going with Jared Goff for a sleeper pick this week.
For a quarterback, you mean?
Yeah.
Or defense.
No, for a quarterback. I'm going all the way
Good
back
for
to
him
the
on
top.
defense if he does that. Wow.
He's going to go out and get 2 picks off of Phillip Rivers.
Good for him. Take him to the house. 1 yard interception returns. All right. There you are.
That's it.
They're probably all the sleepers are probably going to do terrible. The starters are all going to get hurt, and the sit-ems are all going to put 30 plus points up.
Yeah, probably.
Because that's how things go.
Start
right.
Todd Gurley.
Uncle Bob,
Yeah.
it's almost time for basketball. You're excited.
Yeah. Well, I think there's going to be it's going to be one of the more interesting seasons going.
A lot of shakeup.
Has anybody heard what Magic Johnson is saying?
I have not.
No, I have not.
Okay. He's saying that the kid that has the troublesome father has
Oh,
developed
Lonzo
his
Ball?
shot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lonzo, he said, has
changed his
fixed
form.
his shot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he changed his form.
And
Which is like insane to hear. Because like you get to think, Alonzo Ball's been playing basketball his whole life. To change the way you shoot a bat. Now I understand in the NBA.
well, that's because he had a bad coach when he was growing up.
Right, but still though,
Was
but,
it his
like,
dad?
Yeah.
but to change your shot after all those years.
All that
Because
muscle memory.
here's the deal. It's not the greatest shot in the world, and it didn't work for him in the NBA. But it got him to the NBA.
Right.
It's just like it's
Well,
like
no. What got him to the NBA was
Well-
his ability to deliver the ball.
his court vision is what got
Right.
him there. But I'm saying like it's all encompassing. Like it's just like you get a really defensive.
Well, yeah, the guy shot 41% from 3 when he was in college.
You get a really defensive minded infielder that's an absolute stud with the golden glove, fast, can steal bases left and right, but doesn't bat really well. It's very rare that you're going to see somebody change their batting stance and have success. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just like a.
See, that seems that's almost the right fielder. That's almost the right fielder
Yeah.
with the Cubs.
Yeah.
Okay, except this year he's doing what?
Yeah.
Hitting in the clutch when he's healthy.
Yeah. That seems to be the going trend for Chicago sports.
Best
Yes.
avail-
This
best
guy's the best.
availability.
Hashtag when he's healthy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree with you. I think this year has a lot of intrigue. To be, supposedly people are saying the same thing about Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons has formulated a shot or whatever. I don't know. I'm not. If Kyle was here, I could argue with him all day about it. I think Ben Simmons is good, but like they just recently did like the power ranking.
Well,
for, like, players.
the thing that I like about the Lakers is the fact that LeBron's going to take all the heat off everybody on that team.
Yeah,
Okay, and he's going to make what does LeBron do best?
makes
Everybody
around
around him better.
him best.
Yeah.
Okay, and I mean now you got a kid who had all kinds of heat on him last year.
Yeah, yep.
He's going to come into this season feeling loose. Okay, and he's not going
And really, what
he's
saved
not
him-
going to be the focus.
What saved him criticism wise was that Kuzma played so well. Because
Yeah.
if Kuzma came out and wasn't doing well, that team would have been really
But
bad.
I really think the Lakers could be a surprise team this year.
I do too.
Okay,
I do too.
I really, really do because they picked up a couple of serviceable veterans
Yep.
to go with their young kids, and they've got some good youth.
Rajon Rondo is probably the best mentor in the NBA for Lonzo Ball
Yes,
because he's gonna
absolutely.
because Lonzo Ball can score the ball.
Yes.
He can. He struggled with it last year. Part of it's because of his shot. I think a lot of it had to do with lack of confidence. He wasn't going out there and having fun.
Right.
You could see it on his face. He was going out there. He looked stressed. He
Kind
looked
of
like,
out of stress.
right, and like
Well, hey, come on, the pressure that his father put
Right,
on
Yeah,
him.
that's
Well,
unfair.
and-
It was the
Even outside of
best
this-
thing in the world for him because the second half of the season he had some good stats. The best thing in the world was when the Lakers banished his dad and sent him to China or wherever the hell they sent him.
Lithuania.
Yeah, Lithuania.
Lithuania,
Yeah.
that's where his other
I
son's
mean,
are
it's
playing,
like-
yeah. But like my thing is too is like, and it, you see a lot of players come back and play for their home team, but they've already got season like Jabari Parker or like when Dwayne Wade did it.
Yeah.
Like Rose is an exception, but like outside of his father, like that's a lot of pressure too because it's like not only are you playing in the NBA now as your first season supposed to be this huge stud, but you're playing in front of everybody you played with growing up in your
Exactly.
hometown
Yeah.
for your home team.
Yeah.
So now it's like a super personal level if you're not doing well. Like now if you're not doing well and the team's not doing well, not only are you not doing well, but now you're making like your team, your pride, your city not do well.
Well, yeah, but I mean, come on. Let's face it. His father went out and said in the preseason that Lonzo was going to take the Lakers to the playoffs.
Yes, he did.
Okay. Well, fucking moron. Seriously.
No,
I mean, it's like you do that to your kid,
Yeah,
A
man.
little bit of pressure.
just a wee bit.
well, it's just a guy looking to make a name for himself.
And
you know?
now he's got the best basketball player on the earth, no matter how old he is right now. Okay? That's going to take all the pressure in the world. And guess what? He's going to make it fun
Yeah,
for everybody on that team.
I agree.
Golden
Okay?
State's looking to
Now,
win.
they may not make the playoffs, but they could surprise.
Now, question for both you guys: do you think this is kind of like a best case scenario for LeBron having kind of like Magic in kind of his corner? Like,
Sure doesn't hurt. It sure doesn't hurt.
I think having Magic in his corner helps a lot because it takes a lot of pressure off of LeBron. Magic, along with the signings of JaVale McGee, Rondo, Beasley, it takes a lot of pressure off of him to have to mentor everybody.
Right. I mean, you've got some.
I personally think I think that on the court, LeBron is going to have a huge impact on every single person who steps on that floor for the Lakers. But off the court, I really think it's going to be Ingram that's underneath LeBron's wing and really learns from LeBron. And I think that, Rondo and Johnson are really going to have their effect with people like Kuzma and Ball and stuff like that. But I think Ingram's going to be the person off the court, workouts, mentality, thought process, IQ. Those are going to be. He's going to be the player I think that really benefits the most from LeBron.
Yeah.
I think
agree.
everybody on the court is going to benefit from him, no doubt. Everybody
Yeah.
always does.
Well, now you're going to have two guys on that court at one time that see the court better than anybody in the league.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's one thing that you pointed out about Ball is he's got unbelievable court vision. And I mean, I would not be surprised to see them playing Ball and Rondo together.
Well, my thing, I think that's what they're going to do. I think you're going to see a lot of that this season because if you put Ball defensively on somebody like, say they're playing, a good example would be, say they're playing the Rockets.
Yeah.
If you have Lonzo Ball guard James Harden, Lonzo Ball is a very good on-ball defender.
Yes.
And then you have LeBron James and Rajon Rondo, two of the best off-ball defenders in the game, playing Melo and Chris Paul. You now have the ability to completely shut down that Houston Rockets trio from scoring.
I agree.
And at that point, you're who are you relying on to score? Clint Capella? They're not going to win games. It's going to be the same thing when they play the Thunder. You're going to, Paul George is going to be guarded by LeBron, and you're going to have Russell Westbrook off ball, or on ball from Ball or Rondo. Like they have the ability to really shut down teams.
Rondo's an underrated defender.
Is what?
He's underrated.
Oh, very much so. Yeah. And that's why, like, for the Bulls, we were talking about it earlier, I think that was a big thing that the Bulls did was signing Chris Dunn. Because Chris Dunn is, some of the best point guard one of the best point guards the Bulls have ever had was Kirk Hinrich.
Right.
And Kirk Hinrich could lock up anybody with the best of them. Kirk Hinrich played amazing defense on Kobe, T-Mac. I mean, guys much bigger than him, and he played absolutely amazing perimeter on-ball defense. And then he went down and shot the ball lights out from beyond the arc.
Right.
Very clutch. Captain Kirk.
Yep.
Love him.
Captain Kirk.
Love him, especially when he put the goggles on.
Yes. Yeah.
When
you talk about the Bulls, their whole season is going to depend really on two players. Levine, does he become a team player as opposed to a gunner? And does he play defense?
Yeah.
Parker, does he play defense? Okay, and does he settle in as a small forward? If both of those things happen, that could be the surprise team in the East.
The Bulls are at a really good advantage at this point on paper with Jabari Parker if he can play on-ball team defense.
Right.
Because they have the ability to, every team kind of has a weak spot on that for somebody to guard.
Yeah.
There's a few like Golden State is an exception type of thing. Boston's kind of an exception. But like worst case scenario is if Levine does not play well defensively, you can put him on the 1, 2, or 3 that's kind of lesser likely to expose you offensively.
Exactly, yeah.
Because Chris Dunn can play defense, Parker can play defense, and then Markkanen and Portis, Lopez all play defense down low. From the Bulls,
well, if Parker wants to play defense,
right, and I think he will.
I'm hoping, but I mean, based on what he said in that interview,
yeah,
you heard about that, right?
Yeah,
they don't pay guys to play defense. That's what he said, which gives you gives me a scary frame of reference on the kid.
Yeah.
Okay, because I mean, as far as basketball is concerned, you don't play defense, you don't win.
Yeah.
Okay? Seriously.
That's true.
Okay? Not in the playoff. In the playoffs.
Yeah.
I don't care. And that's
well, I mean, look at Golden State. Take away all their scoring alone, they still have 3 of the top 10 defenders in basketball.
Exactly.
And none of them are Steph Curry, just to be clear.
Right.
Curious what your guys' impressions are. Such a big deal about the 76ers, the process. So now...
Look, come on. The process is done, gone, parked away.
So we're ready to say the process, it's complete. Here's the product.
Well,
here's the product.
The process isn't complete. It's on the shelf now. The process won't be complete until they win a championship.
Right.
But they're no longer...
It's not like this
They're
underdog.
no longer forming the process. The process is here. It's formed. Like you said, they have the product. But the process will always be talked about until they win a championship.
If they stay healthy, I believe they will control the Eastern Conference.
And this is not a shot at Souls, but I'm glad that he's not here because I'm curious what your guys' impressions of like what we think we're going to see from them this year.
They've got all the talent in the world. All the talent in the world. I think they've been mismanaged severely.
And I'm sorry,
Okay.
who is the coach? And I'm just totally like out of it.
I don't even know.
Oh, so but was it the same management, same
Elton
coaching staff?
Brand's the GM now.
Yeah.
But same head coach as last year?
Yes.
In
Yes.
Philadelphia?
Yeah. And I thought he did a good job.
I'm terrible with NBA coaches.
Yeah.
They seem to come and go,
Yeah.
Well,
But the Sixers, if they stay healthy, I believe they could leapfrog everybody in the East and be the dominant team this year.
The cream of the crop.
The 76ers and the Celtics, it's their Eastern Conference championship game to lose.
Exactly.
On paper, until the season kicks off, injuries, whatever happens, but there's no other team in the East that really is on paper should be playing in the Eastern Conference championship besides those two.
Toronto is.
I don't know.
They're an outlier that I think.
Everyone's all about it, but here's the deal: Kawhi Leonard hasn't played basketball in a year,
Exactly.
and Kyle Lowry is still not clutch in the playoffs.
I think the first third of the season, you're going to see Leonard trying to get his legs back.
Yeah.
Okay.
That and Kyle Lowry has proven that he's not the guy. Kyle Lowry is very good throughout the entire game, but Kyle Lowry is not the guy that you want to have the ball in your hands when you need 10 points in the fourth quarter.
Now, I could be wrong, and please correct me if I am. I feel like injuries to more. The Kawhi is more well-rounded, but we say like more heavily defensive-minded. Let's just say that injury kind of affects defensive players more than guys who are offensive.
No.
Coming back, is that incorrect in saying?
Yes.
Offensive players suffer more from injuries because usually well-rounded offensive players usually struggle more because you lose explosiveness. Derrick Rose.
Okay.
Derrick Rose hurt his knee over and over again, and he lost his explosiveness to be able to attack the rim at full speed and get 3 feet up in the air over everybody and slam the ball down with 2 hands. When he lost that ability, he was still very acrobatic and making circus play layups. He did it with the Knicks.
Right.
He's been doing it with the Timberwolves. And he, we talked about it earlier, like he should have developed his passing earlier, and he's done it recently. But if he did it earlier, it really would have set the tone for him for a career.
And truthfully, I blame that on Thibodeau
Yeah.
because he didn't. He tried to have Derek be Derek
Yeah.
when he couldn't do it.
Right.
He didn't recognize the fact that Derek needed to change his game, and he's the only person, in my opinion, that could have gotten him to change his game.
Well, and a lot of it, too, in my opinion, too, is Jimmy Butler. Because Derrick Rose wanted to be the guy who is his hometown team. He was lights out for that team. And then, through multiple injuries, somebody had to step up for Chicago. And Jimmy Butler stepped up. And Jimmy Butler decided to be a lights out player. And now Derrick Rose had to take a back seat. Derrick Rose was not the guy.
Right.
And I think it really fucked with him mentally.
Yeah. Well, and that's
Yeah, I know. I'm laughing at Chris, too.
I lay that on the head coach, though.
Yeah.
Okay, because he didn't lower his expectations, and he didn't coach
Oh my God,
him
you're still eating that burrito.
into being
It's terrible.
a different player. He tried to let him be who he was, and it didn't work.
Yeah.
I wish we had
Unfortunately.
Thibodeau 4 years before we had him.
Yeah. Well, so to jump back real quick, so this was the first real injury for Kawhi, correct?
Yes.
So I mean, basically, it's not like, hey, this is not the end
No.
of the Kawhi.
No.
No, Kawhi was still a very, very elusive scorer. He had a very good mid-range game. He could shoot the three, and he can drive the lane and dunk. He's very long. He's got huge hands. He can palm the ball very easily.
He's in his seventh year? No, 6.
He's 2 years younger than Butler.
So
So
I'm
I think
blanking
it's
now.
like 6 years.
I think it's
like
6 too.
sixth year.
Yeah. So I mean, he's still on the younger side.
Right.
We'll say.
My thing is, they are going to be a lot better defensively, the Raptors.
Yeah.
But DeRozan was an offensive juggernaut
Right.
on a team that really does not have depth offensively. Kawhi may not be a huge step, but it's a step backwards offensively. Huge step forward defensively, but a small step back for offense. So now, it really, to me, it doesn't matter what Kawhi does. What is Kyle Lowry going to do?
Does he step up?
Is Kyle Lowry
Can-
going to become a 22 points a game point guard that's also getting 8 assists? If he can do that, the Raptors very easily could be a team that we're talking about playing in the NBA Finals next year.
Exactly.
Also, the Raptors have this wonderful thing called LeBron James not being in the East anymore.
Right.
Because that's the one thing
I
that they
mean-
could never get by.
So.
Go ahead.
Question. So, DeRozan, was to say DeRozan was the guy, and Lowry was kind of his sidekick. Now, would you say now is Lowry the guy? And so we're assuming that.
Lowry is still the sidekick.
So we're assuming that moving
Leonard is going to be the guy.
Leonard is going to be the guy.
Yeah.
Still. Okay. All right.
So the difference between when you think the guy and the sidekick, because a lot of the time you look at a team like this most recent Cleveland Cavaliers team, or you look at a team like Houston, like Harden's the guy, and Harden brings the ball up a lot.
Right.
Westbrook's the guy. He just happens to be the point guard. Wade was the guy. He brought the ball up sometimes. Butler was the guy for the Bulls. He brought the ball up a lot because they're missing nothing. Lowry is a very serviceable, very good point guard. So he's still the floor general, but he's just the sidekick in terms of star power.
Right.
So he's still the floor general. He's still the guy bringing the ball up, and he's the guy getting the play set up.
He's the guy the defense is going to want taking the fourth quarter shots.
Right.
They're going to want to shut down Kawhi and push the ball towards Lowry
and have him be the guy. Okay.
I agree that he's not the guy that's going to be able to step up.
I think a lot of people this year are going to sleep on the Spurs, thinking they might not even make the playoffs. I think the Spurs could very easily have a very good year. Because the one thing that DeRozan has now that he's never had is reliable, consistent inside scoring. And very, very smart players down low.
Well, that seems to be
there's something else, too.
The best head coach in basketball.
Yeah.
Well, it seems to be like I said, with
minus
coaching,
LeBron James.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
But the best head coach in basketball, arguably of all time.
Right.
And then you have
What's a team with depth, correct?
For
the
depth,
most part?
Yeah, I mean, relative depth.
It's a team with depth. Now, very few, if any, all-stars. Okay? It's a team that is a team.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know, and that's really where I think the Bulls could be this year.
Right.
You're not going to have that one superstar, but you're going to have all five guys on the floor in the fourth quarter who could finish the game for you.
Right.
If they develop.
Right.
Okay.
And I agree. I think the Spurs, we very easily could see a Spursless All-Star game. Very easily. But at the end of the season, you could also very easily see DeMar DeRozan averaging 21 points a game. I could see LaMarcus Aldridge averaging 18 points and 11 rebounds and 2 blocks a game. And I could see Powell averaging 12 points, 12 rebounds, and 3 assists a game. And that's a very good stat line for a team.
Yeah.
For a team of 3 people. That is, and you don't think of it in the NBA because of the star power that these teams have now, but that is by definition a lights-out big 3.
Yep.
I mean, you got a guy averaging over 20 points and then 2 other guys averaging a double-double. Right. That's you can't really ask for much more than that. And that's why you don't lift up, Chris.
Thank you. Breaking everything.
Peter would be having a shit. Are you listening there, guy?
I think we lost it for now, but we'll see later.
Yeah.
But I think the Spurs are a team that people will sleep on. I also think if you want to go back to the East, I think a team that could very quietly be a huge contender is Indiana.
And Washington.
I think Dwight Howard could be poised to have Dwight Howard year again. I want to see that really bad.
I do too.
Want to see Dwight Howard dominate again. I love him so much.
This is a team that could happen with.
Yeah.
They've got the skill players. They just haven't been able to put it together.
And Dwight Howard's perfect for that team because they have players that can drive the lane and dish off to Howard for the easy dunk. And then they have people that can shoot the 3 to stretch the floor to give Howard room to work down low. You look at teams he's played on in the past when he was a Laker, when he was a Hawk, there wasn't really a lot of options around him. I mean, when he had Kobe, but it was just Kobe at the tail end of Kobe's career.
And I mean, Kobe is not a team player.
Right.
Okay? Well, Kobe was all about me.
Well, Kobe was a team player.
He was the most inefficient player on the court.
He was,
especially those last 3 years.
I understand what people say because of the Kobe had the put it on my back mentality.
But he didn't need to. He always had quality players around him.
Right.
Which was the only reason that he managed to win anything.
But the thing is it worked more times than not for him to put it on his back. And the thing is
in the regular season, yeah.
but the other thing too is you can't. I mean, I'll never stand by the argument that Kobe wasn't a team player. Kobe has more assists than anybody else in NBA history for a non-point guard.
And he also has the worst shooting percentage of anybody that is considered a good player. And I don't consider Kobe a good player. His inefficiency hurt his team more than helped it. Okay? In
Hot
my
takes.
opinion. In my opinion.
That's fine. I mean, I still think Kobe goes down as one of the greats. I do.
Why? Because he scored so many points?
No, it's not because he scored so many points. It's because the way he did it and when he did it. I mean, I understand what you're saying. You're right. He did. Kobe took. I mean, you look at the 81-point game he had. He took a shit ton of shots to do it. It wasn't like he scored 81 points and shot 78% from the floor. He probably shot 42 from the floor. For
I
that.
think he was in the 30s.
But I understand that. But at the same time, it's just the times where he had to take, and that's the thing. That's why I hate the Jordan and LeBron debate, because everyone wants to talk about stats, and you can't talk about stats.
Well, you can't talk about championships.
Well, not
Okay.
champions. You can't talk about stats in general. What you can't sit there and talk about. Oh, well, LeBron has averaged more points in his 30s than Jordan. Okay, well, one,
Jordan
even though it's
didn't
only
play
a
in his
decade,
30s.
it's a different game.
Yeah.
Health-wise, stuff like that. Two, you have to look at things like, I'm not saying LeBron, taking anything away from LeBron, but you have to look at things that aren't on stat sheets and box scores and stuff like that. Or how many steals did Michael Jordan have when they were within 10 points in the fourth quarter? Things like that. Like that's not on the stat sheet,
Right.
but that's a huge difference. Michael Jordan gets a steal and goes down and scores. That's 4 points instead of 2. Realistically, you look
Yeah.
at things like that.
But James has done the same thing.
No, I know. But those
Okay.
are the things, and that's what I think a lot of that's where I think a lot of Kobe's greatness comes from is not from his shooting efficiency and things like that. I still think he goes down as one of the greats because the guy was complete.
He's not in my top 10 and never will be.
That's fine.
Okay? I mean, it's
It's
like
understandable.
there's so many people out there. And you
He's
see,
in top 11, though.
I don't know. I top 15, I'll grant you. Okay, but there are people out there. Gail Goodrich. People never mention him, but the Lakers would not have been the Lakers of old without Goodrich.
I understand. Yeah.
Okay, I mean it's like another guy whose name never gets mentioned as a top one of the tops is Bob Cousy.
Or Bob Love.
Oh, Bob Love.
Or Jerry Sloan.
Yeah. But, well, no. I don't put that.
I just want to see if I can get you going on the bullshit.
No.
I just want to see how many
Neither
bulls I
one
can start
of them.
naming and he'd be like,
Love,
yeah.
no, Love, yeah. I mean, I love both of those guys, but there's no way they're anywhere near
No,
my top
but,
15.
this is the guy that
mean,
I
you
could
got-
say it to, and it might be okay.
Yeah. I mean, there's two Bulls that I would put in top, okay?
Jordan
That's
and
Pippen and Jordan, okay? And quite truthfully, I don't think either one of them would have won without the other.
I agree with that.
Okay, Jordan is never going to carry any team to the playoffs without Pippen. Okay, and if you look at the 6 championships they won, Pippen was the sidekick.
If you want to extend it to the top 20, I think you could make a serious case for 3 Chicago Bulls.
Okay,
Dennis Rodman.
well, yeah, but you see, his best years were with the Pistons.
No, I understand that, but
Okay.
but
But
I'm
yeah.
just saying, like people
Yeah.
that have played for the Bulls, I think Dennis Rodman could very easily work. And a lot of people sleep on Dennis Rodman because Dennis Rodman probably averaged 5 points
He
a game
wasn't- but
for
yeah,
his career,
was
but
he-
he also averaged 23 rebounds.
Yeah,
Um,
and also how many blocks?
Yeah.
Okay, and
how many
what
different-
kind of defense?
And how many different hair colors did he have?
Just
Right.
remember, he has an
But I mean,
unfair.
How many times did he bang Madonna?
That
He has an
second
unfair
three.
advantage, though. He's
What?
an alien, according to Men in Black.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. But the other thing is the second 3 championships, Rodman was on the team, and that was the best defensive team in basketball.
Yeah, it was.
When they had Rodman, Pippen, and Jordan on the floor, didn't matter who else they put out there. And the scary thing was everybody they put on the floor with them were very highly rated defensive players. It was defense wins championships,
I think-
especially in the NBA.
I think my favorite lineup that I ever saw, looking back on like old footage from the Bulls, was when they put out it was B.J. Armstrong, Jordan, Kukoc, Pippen, Rodman.
Yeah.
I think that was my favorite lineup because you had Kukoc and Armstrong just shooting threes, Jordan and Pippen able to drive. Well, Pippen and Jordan could do everything on the offensive side of the ball.
Right.
And then Rodman just anchored down low. Just give me the ball and I'm going to bully the shit
And
out of
you
whoever's
got
down
to realize, you're talking about a 6'9" guy who played center.
there.
Okay.
And out-rebounded
dominated.
everybody.
Dominated.
Yeah.
Okay. It was like Willis Reed.
You're dead.
That's right.
I mean, you got to realize something. I actually saw those games.
Yeah.
It was like,
Well, and the thing too, we talk about the GOAT discussions like that, and that's for basketball. It's the hardest one for me. I mean, hockey's a no-brainer. It's easy. It's just Gretzky.
yeah.
No one will ever do it.
No.
Football. I mean, you break it down a little bit. It's easier than basketball.
Yeah, it's an odd.
Baseball's difficult due to the nature of defense and offense being separated, and and how the game has changed over the years. Much like
You
basketball.
got to weigh like defensive play and hitting for baseball. It's
Right,
tough.
and,
It's
you know,
odd.
Well, you see, baseball and basketball, everybody talks offense.
Right.
Okay. Willie Mays, one of the best defensive outfielders to ever play the game, and he had the offense. To me, that's where you start. I mean,
Like
Babe
Ken
Ruth,
Griffey.
but Ken
kid.
Griffey too, the same thing.
The kid, yeah.
Okay.
In my opinion, I think the kid's the best baseball player of all time.
And
I
I couldn't argue with that. Okay,
He
and
was
I'd
just
say
so
Willie was the second.
I mean, and so for me, it's difficult because I have not watched a lot of footage from old baseball players from like the 70s, 60s, 50s, 40s, because it goes back forever. But like the kid, for me, just like from everything I've ever watched him play, I mean, he was so good defensively. He had such a good, accurate, strong arm, and he hit with so much power and accuracy and clutch.
Right.
He went up, if he went up there down by 2 with a guy on first and second, he was not looking to put it over the fence.
He put
If
it
he
in
got the
play.
pitch to put it over the fence, he would take it.
He could take
but
it,
he
yeah.
was looking to put that into the gap between, right and center, make him really stretch a throw to home to get that guy on first around to home and tie
Yeah.
the game up.
And he did it
And he did it
on a
consistently.
regular basis.
More often than not.
Yeah.
But it's like for me, basketball is so hard talking about it because you talk about some of the goats like Wilt Chamberlain. Wilt Chamberlain is one of the most statistically freaked human beings of all time. 55 rebounds in the game, probably never going to get touched. Never.
Right.
But he also was a 7-footer playing in a time when nobody was taller than 6'6".
Yeah.
He was significantly taller. And so it's like,
He had somebody that was in his face all the time at 6'9".
but it's just like
Okay, who played lights out, actually had more championship series and championships than anybody.
yeah,
A guy by the name of Russell.
yeah.
Okay, I mean he was like,
He won a championship as a player coach.
yeah,
He got 2 rings.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, he got 2 rings.
That's awesome.
I mean he was phenomenal.
But I mean, but for Wilt Chamberlain, so okay, so take, I don't know how many games did they play? 82 games back then too.
I
think it was less,
No,
right?
I think it was
60?
a little bit. Yeah, I think it was 64. Something
So
like
even
that.
if it was 64, so Wilt Chamberlain's playing Bill Russell 4 games a year?
no, they were in the same conference.
Okay, so they're playing,
Okay,
and it was less teams,
like-
maybe 8
yeah,
games a year.
8 games a year.
Okay, but so still, I mean, 8 games a year, the 2 of them went at it. But other than that, the rest of the games, both
And
of them
back then-
were just alpha mailing it against everybody else.
And back then, it was the Celtics over the Sixers, usually 6-2.
Yeah,
Okay, because of Russell. And, well, there was another guy out there named Kuzi and Havlicek. I mean, those teams. But you got to realize, this was an era where you had unbelievable basketball players and you had half the teams you've got right now.
yeah,
Okay, so the concentration of talented players on each team was much higher. And
Yeah. it's true.
even though the skill levels compared to today was a different thing, what they did in their own era was unbelievable.
Very true.
Take a quick break.
Yeah, we'll go to break. We'll come back. We'll do some Riddler's rankings, and then we'll get into predictions for this NFL season.
Yep.
And then, hopefully soon we have a full house again. We got a lot of hockey and basketball to talk for the coming weeks.
Absolutely.
But until then, we'll see you in 5 minutes?
5 minutes.
10 minutes?
5 minutes.
30 minutes?
For what?
2 minutes and 22 seconds. Go.
After our break. All right. We'll see you.
And now, back to getting sports with Drunk on the PPRN Radio Network.
Welcome back to Getting Sports with Drunk. I'm your hostess, Cupcake the Riddler, and I'm joined by assholes.
What's up, guys?
Yeah. Hey,
We got a
I
flaming
resemble
one.
that.
We got a flaming one. We got a loose one. And we got a ginger one.
That's right.
Here's a loose one, Chris.
Yeah, I got that. Thank you.
We didn't actually come up with a topic for those rankings, so that was on our end.
Well, we could do something on the fly.
Just do it then. You always gotta announce it. Just do it, man.
Hey,
Come on.
let's do.
You're giving Peter nausea.
Nausea, is he still watching?
He's always watching.
He's watching. All right, then let's do
Riddler's rankings. Tight ends to watch today. Not fantasy. Tight ends to watch. Just what you think is the most fun tight ends to watch today.
Okay. Well. All right.
really with fantasy. It puts a label on it.
This way, just tight ends that you think are fun to watch
Okay.
today.
All right. No, it's mine. My Riddler's rankings.
I wasn't gonna
Not
pick
Mike
one.
Massey's rankings.
I was
Riddler's rankings. Mike
that's-
Massey's
that's
rankings.
not-
It's not even an alliteration.
Come on, let's not
That's
argue
not
about
nice.
it. I want to hear this.
All right, number 5 is going to be Trey Burton from the Chicago Bears.
All right.
He's got a lot to prove. Going up against a weak defense.
Yeah.
So he's going to try to showcase that he wasn't just a one-hit wonder in Philadelphia, and that he's here to do good things. Number 4, Evan Ingram, from the New York Giants. That offense has kind of gotten off to a slow start. Granted, they did play a really tough defense week 1 and just kind of didn't show up week 2. Offensive line still shaky, but he's the kind of guy. He's a big threat down the field. He's someone that can get open over the middle, oversizing small corners and linebackers.
Giants are actually benching Eric Flowers today.
Good. Number 3 for me is Rob Gronkowski. Always just a fun guy to watch. The way he streaks up the field, the routes he runs in the end zone. He plays with so much enthusiasm every single week. He's just always an exciting guy to play or watch play, especially when
You need to stay on mic more.
Oh, am I off the mic?
Move the mic a little bit more towards. There you
This?
go.
Yeah.
That'll help.
Number 2 is unfortunately Jim Graham. I feel like we're still waiting to see him explode with Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, I forgot he was on Green Bay.
I fully hope that never happens, but
It could.
as a fan of football, it's something people want to see, and I understand that. I get that. And then number 1 for me, Chris Gregg. Just
I miss him. He's not playing.
no,
ever.
he's not going to play. No. For me, I really feel like it's what's his name? Gary Barnage. He's down. Is that the guy? He's in New Orleans, right? It's him that went down there. No, who went down to New Orleans?
I think of John Kuhn.
Tight end.
Well, I know, but fullback
No.
tight end.
No,
for, for New Orleans?
Yeah, didn't they just?
Oh, wait a minute. He went back from New England. Oh my God, what the frick is his name?
I don't know. I thought Gary Barnage went to New Orleans. It wasn't Jeff Hall. Oh no, Ben Tate. Not Ben Tate. Is it Ben Tate?
I don't know.
All right. Well, this is a giant fuck show. Okay, so forget that.
I know who you're talking about too. You see,
We'll just stop because we're just gonna hang up on it all day. Actually, I think it could be George Kittle. Actually, George Kittle's because I think that the Rams, or not the Rams, the Chargers are playing the 49ers, right?
Yeah.
I think
No.
is it the Rams
Chargers
playing
are
the
playing
49ers?
the Rams.
Chargers playing
Ben
the-
Watson.
Who's playing the 49ers? We talked about this. Oh my god, it's derailing. Why am I blanking on it? Who's playing the 49ers?
I have no
Kansas
idea.
City.
Today's
Kansas
Kansas
City.
City.
Kelsey.
Defense has got a lot to prove still. There we go. I think the secondary is going to try to play lights out against them because they kind of, Garoppolo's got the ability to hit whoever's open. Garoppolo's got the ability to hit whoever's open and stuff like that. So I think Kittle could actually end up having it. I think they're going to try to stack the box against the run game, keep Garoppolo in the pocket, force him to make good throws. And I think Kittle's the guy that could really benefiting from that against a Kansas City defense that still hasn't proven to me. Yeah. So there you go.
Ben Watson's who we're thinking of in New Orleans.
No, it's not.
What do you mean?
Nope.
Ben Watson.
Ben Watson.
Shout out Dave Sanderson. I believe he's tuned in. So thank you for joining us. And get ready. Giants play at 1, I believe. Versus the Texans. I think that's a 1 o'clock game. Pretty sure. But I'm sure he'll be tuned in to that.
Giants are, yes, a 1 o'clock game.
1 o'clock game. Living in New England here, we're pretty much guaranteed to get that. It's more strange than that than we don't get it. But,
True.
Well, the Bears are at 4, aren't they?
4:25.
4, yeah.
Yeah. That's
Well-
good. Well, yeah. No.
Could be on TV for non-subscribers
Oh,
of.
no, I'm not on TV. I'm on computer.
You might need to go home.
Me?
Yeah.
Why?
Because we can't watch the same game at the same time. Rams and Bears play at the exact same time. You're going to have to go home before the game.
No, because I told you it was a 4 o'clock game and you said we could watch it.
You got
I'll have to bring
split
two.
screen?
I'll have to bring
Picture
two
in picture?
TVs down. That's all it is.
That was the most 2018 sentence I've ever heard. Let's bring down another
Why
television.
2018? We did it throughout college.
Yeah.
Well, I
That we
guess what I
did.
meant was most, modern era sentence.
Yeah.
Well, we can't watch the same game. I'll just bring another TV down. It'll be fine.
All right, let's do pick'ems.
Yeah. Send it through.
Pick the first game. I want you to take the reins on this one, Mass. So we just start with the 1 o'clock game and work our way through to the Monday night game.
Saints at Falcons.
Like, week 1, I was like all Saints all the way. I'm not too sure now.
Falcons have been up and down.
I have New Orleans.
But their secondary New Orleans secondary has been torched, and
Yeah.
there is a good receiving core.
Yeah. I foresee definitely a shootout. I think kind of that's what we've seen for the past X amount of years. I think New Orleans will come away with a victory today by 10 points. I'm going to go kind of like a 40-30 New Orleans Saints win today. Breeze is my player to watch, I guess, because he plays lights out all the time.
Bob?
I'm going to flip that. I'm going to go 38-35 Falcons.
Shutout. 9-0 Falcons.
Ew. You actually mean that?
No, not at all. But I do think the Falcons are going to win in overtime.
Oh my god. What an ugly game. Oh my god. I think the Falcons also win. I think they do it in classic shootout fashion though. But I think the Falcons pull away through a couple, 1 or 2 good defensive possessions. Falcons 35, Saints 24.
All right.
Game number 2. 49ers at Chiefs.
I kind of foresee 49ers getting more in stride every week, but I think this is still Kansas City's game.
Yeah.
I'm anticipating kind of not Garoppolo to struggle, but definitely be not what am I trying to say? Not bested, but I think that the Chiefs come and they play well enough to kind of shut down.
Yeah, I would say so.
So I'm gonna go. Let's say Chiefs 33, 49ers 21.
Okay.
I'm going to say Chiefs 35 again, and the Niners 12.
Well, good showing from Kansas City.
Kansas City is going to win this game by a score of 99-1.
So they're going to get penalized to the point.
Kansas City is going to win this game. The firepower is just going to be too much for the San Francisco defense to handle. They're going to be throwing it the entire time, just trying to play catch up against the Chiefs. And
Get
Garoppolo's
the
going
bunch. Yeah.
Garoppolo's going to throw a couple picks. I predict that we're looking at a score of 31-20.
31-15 Chiefs. Touchdown, 2 field goals, and a safety for the 49ers.
Wow.
I think they get the safety early. I think they catch Mahomes trying to scramble. Maybe like they back him up penalties or something like that in the first one of the first 2
That
drives.
could happen. Yeah.
And Mahomes tries to scramble and gets taken down by a defender that comes through.
Quite possibly the ugliest game on the 1 o'clock schedule. We have the Raiders at Dolphins.
Yay. Well, I always find a lot of times that the games that seem like going to be the most boring or the most exciting. Browns Jets. I think this is definitely Tannehill can expose a Raiders team that doesn't really have, I guess, any sort of identity. I guess they thought Carr was going to be the guy to take them through. They haven't found that sort of rhythm yet.
He makes it through the first half.
I think Dolphins win. It's close. We'll call it 27-24.
Okay.
I'm looking at 21-0.
Wow.
Ooh, I like this.
Shut out.
I believe it will be a shot. Yes.
Raiders and Dolphins.
Oh God.
I am going to go ahead and say that it's going to be a close game. It's probably going to go down to, I don't know, 21-21. Dolphins go up late with 2 minutes left. Dolphins are driving, or Raiders are driving at the end. Suddenly it's announced Khalil Mack has been traded to the Dolphins for the last 2 minutes of the game. Comes in, strip sacks Derek Carr.
I love these fantasy scenarios.
24-21 Dolphins.
Madden meets Club Penguin. I'm going to
Chris has just
say
delivered a pizza.
Dolphins 27, Raiders 21.
All right.
Next game, the second ugliest on the 1 o'clock schedule. We have the Bills at the Vikings.
I anticipate this to be our biggest blowout of the day.
The Bills are going to win, right?
Yeah. I anticipate kind of what you said. The Vikings will run pretty heavy. Kirk can kind of sit back today. I'm going to go with 37-19 Buffalo. Buffalo's able to move the ball, but House guy's a big day, and I'm hoping so for he's on my fantasy team. So that's kind of a shout out to him. 37-19.
Okay.
I'm looking at about 33-9. I don't see the Bills moving the ball anyplace.
I know, yeah.
Okay. And they may be lucky to get 9.
Yeah, kind of the theme so far.
I don't believe that the Bills will score more than 3 points.
Wow.
However, the Vikings are going to lose Kirk Cousins today.
Wow, bold prediction from the mass.
Hey, what are you smoking?
He's digging for ratings right now.
No, it'd just be classic Vikings fashion. They have the superstar team.
No, that's fair. That's a fair assessment.
It's
And
happened to
lose-
them before.
Lose the star player in a game that you don't need to have him do anything in.
Yeah, that's true.
Vikings 24. Buffalo 17.
Wow.
Okay, that's a pretty close game.
Minnesota Vikings have a tendency to never be able to play both offense and defense in a game.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Next up is the Colts at the Eagles.
You know,
Carson Wentz 10. Everybody else 0.
it's going to be interesting. This is
Prince Harry.
Wentz's first game back.
Correct.
A lot of, not hype, but there's a lot of stuff going around with Andrew Luck and whether, they're going to perform moving forward. And we've seen some of that, not all of it. I think Philadelphia is the Super Bowl champs. It's the team to beat, and they've played well. I think Philadelphia goes on. They win today. They win 31-17.
I'd buy that. 31-17.
Yeah.
I'm just having fun being the hot takes guy.
Well,
Colts.
don't get used to it.
24-21.
Wow. What's your reason?
I think Andrew Luck is just finally going to wake up. Carson Wentz is going to be a little rusty. It's his first game back in almost an entire season, or an entire year, I guess.
Okay.
Out of sync with his receivers.
I don't see Wentz finishing the game.
You don't think so?
No, I think they'll be behind, and they'll bring back.
Bring back
Foles.
Super Bowl MVP Nick Foles.
You know,
Yes.
it's funny. You never see a quarterback on a pitch count. It's either you
No.
perform or you don't, and then that's it.
And I think he goes first half. They're trailing after the first half, and Foles comes in and pulls the game out.
I like it.
I'd be happy with that.
Eagles 17, Colts 10.
Wow.
Yeah.
Riddler with low scoring.
Yeah.
I like it. Very classic football.
We've had the most points scored in the first 2 weeks of football. I think some teams start dialing it back a little bit. Not by
And
choice. I just think it happens.
They catch
Well,
up.
the defenses
Right,
start
yeah.
catching up.
Offenses always start much hotter than defenses do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Unless you're Chicago. And I'm okay with that.
Next game in the lineup, we have the Green Bay Packers against the Washington Football Redskins.
I think.
Nobody cares what you think.
Wow. No, I actually honestly think for this one, I think Washington wins. I do. I think
Okay.
Washington wins it. I think Washington wins 27-24 against Green Bay.
This is the one that Green Bay drops?
Yep.
Okay.
I think Adrian Peterson has a big day. I don't believe in Green Bay's defense.
I also anticipate a Washington victory, but from an Aaron Rodgers mistake end of the game,
Ooh, I like this.
26-20 Washington. It's kind of about, Smith controls the ball, doesn't make mistakes, and I think Rodgers is kind of sloppy today.
Okay.
Off topic, real quick. How long is Dalvin Cook out for?
A couple weeks. Injured his hamstring.
Torn. My fantasy pickup.
I think this one's going to be very, very close. I'm thinking like 21-18, Washington.
All right.
Hello, Green Bay. 31-22.
Was that a Robin Williams reference?
No.
Oh, it's Good Morning Vietnam.
Good morning, Vietnam.
Yeah. Hello, Vietnam. All right, Chris. Quick interjection. I'm last. Everyone else has made their picks.
Okay.
Should I pick Latavius Murray, or should I pick Deshaun Jackson? I don't really need either of them, but
Deshaun Jackson's going to be good the rest of the year. Latavius Murray's only going to be good a couple weeks.
all right. On to the next game. I'll trust your word. Oh, you know what? I'm actually going to take Hauschka.
There you
Good
go.
choice.
Do you have him?
Fitzmagic.
I do.
Well, I'm going to take him from you because I have that power.
No.
God,
Next,
I almost picked Justin Jackson.
next game, the one that's going to be the least watched game, more so because I don't like it. Carolina, Cincinnati.
I can see that as not a very watched game,
Yeah,
except for the areas that are fans of
Yeah.
the team.
There's just nothing riding on that.
I think
Well, that's not true.
There's no storylines riding on that.
Undefeated Bengals team looking to stay atop the division.
with that being said, I
enough.
think Bengals suffer their first loss. I think the Panthers play well enough.
Newton goes off.
Yeah, I mean the defense for Cincinnati plays well. I mean that was a team that jumped a week ago. They jumped ahead early, and then they played not to lose towards the end of the game, and it just
Which is exactly how the Jets lost this week.
yeah. But I think Panthers play well. I think Panthers
Rivera
win.
has them up all the time.
Yeah.
They're very, very steady. Okay, they very seldom go bonkers, but they also don't hit
Yeah.
us off.
31-23 Panthers today.
Okay.
28-14 Panthers.
28-21 Cincinnati. AJ Green's going to go off for another 30 touchdowns.
Wow.
20-13 Bengals.
Okay, just an observation. You still are staying off mic.
Oh, sorry. That's because I'm doing this. It keeps.
Well, yeah, just move the mic over in front, so
You can make out with it.
you don't have to be touching it. Just keep it in front of you. Yeah. Okay. A big black.
Biggest flag us.
Peter's probably saying, "Go Bob, come on!"
I'm not there to do it. You got to do it.
Yeah.
Oh, public service announcement. Kendall and Rebecca, if you guys get a chance, could you check your fantasy teams on the phone? Make sure the player you chose is on your roster.
Let's do that right now, just so we could make sure.
And then you go ahead and go to the next game.
The next game, the Tennessee Football Titans.
Oh, good.
It's funny. That was only really said for the football giants because
Yeah,
of
Because when the
'Cause there was
Giants
baseball
were in New York,
giants.
No, because of the Little Giants. That was a good movie.
It
Yeah.
was.
I was a big fan of that movie.
Never seen that movie.
Oh my
Come
god.
on, this-
Icebox?
come on.
I'm not a sports fan.
Oh, come on.
No, he's not a fan of life. Do you know how many movies I had to show this kid in college? Never
You still
saw
have-
Caddyshack.
You still have a lot of
Never
movies
saw the
coming.
Blues Brothers. Never saw the Big Lebowski.
That was a shit movie.
It's an acquired taste.
Yeah. I have to agree with you. That wasn't one of my favorites,
But
it
it's still
was
a cult
funny.
classic.
And it is
worth
a cult
seeing,
classic.
you know.
Yeah.
You should still see it.
Yes.
So Rebecca was tapping me like in a very peculiar way on my shoulder, but it felt like, you ever have like a muscle twitch?
Yeah.
That's what it felt like. I'm just sitting, I'm like, why is this doing this? And then I'm just like, I look over, I'm like, oh. You know. All right, so we got
That's
the
what Rebecca is.
yeah.
She is the muscle twitch.
so we've got the Tennessee Oilers versus.
The Tennessee Oilers versus the expansion team Jacksonville Jaguars.
Oh man, this is another game I don't want to know. I don't want to watch.
You know, Tennessee has shown nothing promising, really. I think Jacksonville kind of runs away with this one. 38-14 Jacksonville.
24-13 Jacksonville. I think
I'm
Bortles
thinking
struggles.
another shutout.
I think Bortles struggles, but I think the defense scores 14 points.
I'm thinking
Well-
another shutout.
12 points.
21 zip.
34-7
Jacksonville.
No love for Tennessee in this group.
Well, I don't think they definitely have not settled their quarterback questions.
Right.
No,
And
absolutely
you don't have, if that question isn't resolved, you don't really have much to.
I haven't believed in Tennessee since
Jake Locker.
since Chris Johnson.
Shout out Jay Locker. I will drink to that.
I thought you were going to say Jeff Fisher.
See, that's around the horn for private side right there. We drink to Jeff Fisher.
I'm done. Goodbye, everybody. The mass signing off. God damn you, Jeff Fisher. The next go-round game, we have the Denver Broncos at the Baltimore Ravens.
This could be exciting for me in my head. I feel like this has the potential to be pretty good with Denver's defense playing well and Flacco and the offense kind of not being excellent.
Let's go, Case.
I have the Broncos winning. This game was going to be low scoring. It's going to be 18 Denver, 13 Baltimore.
21-18, Denver.
Denver 38, Baltimore 15.
Here's my pitch for the game this week. 9-3 Denver.
Wow.
See, I could also see that. Yeah. You could name a score. Just name any score. Quick, go right off the top of your head.
21-7.
I can see it. Literally any score I can see in this game. I can see both offenses sucking. I can see one offense sucking, one doing great. I can see both doing great. Defense is not true. Like, I just don't know what I'm getting. It's like a mystery bag. Just reach in and it's like, oh.
I think this could be like one of the better games to watch.
Is Lamar Jackson the quarterback of the future?
Yeah, I think so.
He's already playing.
Do you think he's going to be the
Yes,
quarterback?
I
of the
do.
future?
I do.
You mean for Baltimore, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think he's actually going to be something?
Depends how long
I
they
think
sit.
No, I think personally, I think he's not built strong enough. It's gonna be another Watson situation. I don't think Watson's gonna finish the season.
I think he'll be flashy. I think he'll make some great plays. I don't think they'll win Super Bowls, but
Joe Flacco's an elite quarterback.
he is not. God.
Oh, they paid him like he was.
I'll tell you what. I'm sure you've seen that Bleacher Report cartoon.
Which one? The game of...
The one where Flacco's applying for a QB
yes.
card, and
Yes.
Troy Aikman's like doing the how many seasons best for 4,000 yards? 1. Oh, okay.
Okay.
Did you ever start a Super Bowl? Yes, and was an MVP.
There you go.
Ooh.
Do you hear Troy Aikman and Joe Buck during the Cleveland Jets game this week?
I caught like third quarter on. I was working.
I'm pretty sure both of them had been drinking a little bit because
It's very odd because
They needed to.
they're not good commentators normally.
No.
They really aren't.
and the thing is too, it's the dynamic is weird because it's like they're a Fox crew
Yep.
on NBC. And it's just kind of like,
it's-
I think
what are
that
they
there's sort of
doing?
this, like, not animosity, but it's kind of like,
Yeah.
hey, let's not put forth our best effort for an
Right.
opposing station.
The funniest,
It's weird.
the funniest thing that I heard, and I was doing a couple other things at the time. I was listening to the game. I was typing something on the computer, and I was texting a couple friends because Baker Mayfield had just come in. Troy Aikman tells Joe Buck this story about how he got confused during his cadence and
He went under the guard.
he went under his guard, and apparently his guard used to call everybody
Daddy. Yeah.
So he walks under his guard and puts his hand underneath, and it's like something's not right. And you hear from the guard, "It ain't me, Daddy." Just
Yeah, very,
yeah, it's just
not
like,
good commentary.
Yeah.
That's a story you tell other football people. Like,
yeah, that's the one I had to be like,
What?
rewind? Did he just say that?
yeah.
But yeah, that was an interesting one. Next game coming up, you got the New York Football Giants and the Houston Texans.
Houston has had a lot of hype.
I think this could be a very ugly game. Houston really hasn't found their niche yet, and neither of the Giants. It's going to be a game where either both teams continue to struggle, or one finds it and one doesn't. I don't think both find it today, though. I don't know. I'm going to have to go. I'm going to give it to the Texans. 24-17. I just thought, with or without Flowers, the offensive line is still just atrocious.
Yep.
And there's an extreme pass rush on the other side. Deshaun Watson has the ability to deliver the football. It's one of those things. Deshaun Watson's going to have the time, but doesn't have the playmakers that Eli has. Yeah. Eli has the playmakers and doesn't have the time. So I'm going to give it the touchdown edge to the Texans. They score late of the fourth quarter, and Giants can't put it together to finish it out.
21-10 Texans.
27-20 Texans.
21-7 Texans.
And in your fantasy world?
In my fantasy world, what happens is
Eli Manning goes for 650 yards, no touchdowns.
Oh God, no! Eli's not making it through the season. He's done.
It's possible. You've seen the way he's been getting hit. Him and Russell Wilson might be sharing an ambulance together one day.
No kidding. My fantasy world,
those two teams have to play each other. I don't think they do, but if they had to, they
You
both
wouldn't
check
know
out.
who'd be starting.
Yeah, they both would just check out. Nah, we're not playing this game.
In my fantasy world, the Giants will win.
Paul's got a Jimmy leg going. He's because I'm shaking on the.
What?
There we go.
I was bouncing my leg and it was bothering his camera.
Okay.
Get better cameras.
My fantasy world,
Another Pete.
the game comes down to 4th and 2 on the goal line. 2 seconds left. Giants needed to go ahead. Jadavon Clowney comes through the line, makes Saquon fumble. Watt picks it up, runs halfway down the field. Saquon goes back, grabs the ball, and runs it back for a touchdown. Giants win. That's my fantasy world.
Very Madden of you.
Listen, you asked for fantasy, I deliver. We are done with the 1 o'clock games. We are going on to the 4 o'clock games. We have the Chicago Bears at the Arizona Cardinals.
I expect an excellent showing from Chicago this afternoon. I think defense still plays very well. Arizona seems to be not doing anything fast. I think Trubisky plays well enough, nothing exciting. I'm envisioning a 38-14 win for Chicago today.
It's a lot more points than I had going.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah. I'm thinking 28-7.
27-10.
Who's your backup quarterback right now?
Mr. Daniels.
Yeah, Chase Daniels.
Daniels.
Is it Chase Daniels?
And he played
Yeah.
lights out in preseason.
Okay.
I say 27-10.
You got to
just 'cause-
remember, Trubisky just played, 2 series in preseason?
I say 27-10 just because the Bears, along with the league, it's not just the Bears, but struggle against the receiving back type of thing. I just think that the Cardinals put together a touchdown drive at some point and then get down the field a little bit, maybe kick a field goal. But I think the defense, all in all, holds them in check.
35-7. Trubisky's going to throw 3 touchdowns.
To himself. That's my fantasy world.
My fantasy world, just going back to our days playing Madden, is first play of the game, Chandler Joe break through the line, Mitch Trubisky breaks his collarbone.
Fuck off. Every time we played Madden, Chris would break my quarterback's collarbone.
Every single
Then
time.
I would hit a Hail Mary to Greg
fail.
Jennings.
Greg Jennings.
We got Rams now.
Next, actually, is, the Rams
Rams Chargers.
against the LA Chargers.
I think Rams played very well. I think they keep that going. I think Phillip Rivers is no dud, but I think the defense plays well enough to keep him in check. I'm envisioning a 27-26 game in it.
I think the Rams win 28-24.
This just makes me worried because they're all going off the back of a kicker that we don't have right now.
I say 28-24, and just because I think the Chargers would be poised to play in a shootout or defensive struggle game with the Rams, but they're missing their best piece on defense, so I think that's eventually what's going to kind of be the thorn in their side.
I'm looking at the same thing, 28-27 or 28-24.
Chris was like, why can't you guys just say like 48-0? Give me some over-under to work with.
I gave you a shutout.
Yeah.
Rams will take it 35-24, coming off a late pick six from Marcus Peters because he seems to have Phillip Rivers' number.
True. Very true.
Long time playing in the same division, you know?
Yeah.
You just picked them off in every single game that they played.
Like, I know
true?
they happen, but I can never get myself to predict a shutout. Because you just see so much garbage points.
Yeah.
So many garbage. I mean, Seattle scored like 14 garbage points.
Or 4 games against
Yeah.
the Chargers. He's only been in the league 2
That's
years.
an interesting stat.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Didn't know that.
Nice
And
side
then
combo.
on the other side, you have Aqib Talib, who also has played in the same division as Rivers
Yeah,
for.
good point. Good point.
And Cortland Finnegan.
Cool. Lost to fight to Andre Johnson.
Got his ass
In a
kicked.
different division.
They were in the same division at that point. That was Titans Houston when that happened.
Yeah, but it was a different division, I'm saying.
Oh yeah. Next game up, which unfortunately is the national game this week. Cowboys Seahawks.
Ew.
Yeah.
Why the hell does that get national television?
That's the national game. This
Gotta
week.
love the Cowboys.
They throw the
Hashtag America's team.
Why do you think they're worth $5 billion?
Yeah. Cowboys 20.
Hashtag Jerry World.
Cowboys 24. Seattle 23. I think Russell Wilson's going to be able to throw over the defense and scramble around the linebackers. I don't think their linebacking core and their defensive ends are as quick as Chicago's were to keep him in the pocket. So I think he'll have success scrambling, which is where he's going to end up hitting those receivers in the weak secondary. But I think Dallas is going to be able to eventually get to him enough. And they still don't have a running game. So
Seahawks are ugly right now.
Thank God.
Cowboys are going to play well enough. Dallas wins 24-13.
This pick's for Peter. I'm picking Seattle 24-21.
Peter was sitting there, he's like, all right, Uncle Bob, you son of a bitch.
That's right, yeah.
Is Peter a closet Cowboys fan? Or
Oh, yeah.
He's not a
Yeah,
closet
yeah,
Cowboys
yeah.
fan.
He doesn't understand sports, but he's a Cowboy fan.
Okay.
That's a good way to look at it.
Seahawks lose this game 27-9.
Wow.
And my fantasy one, this is the one I've been saving for a little while. Earl Thomas gets a pick six on the 5-yard line, runs it all the way down to the end. Jason Garrett chases him down, says, "No, we just traded for you." Runs all the way back and scores a touchdown for Dallas.
These mid-game trades.
Is Jason Garrett like holding his jersey, running down the sideline?
we
like,
just traded
wait,
for
wait,
you.
Wait up for it.
Turn around, wrong way.
It's taped over Des Bryant. Just a piece of scotch tape. Or masking tape.
Although halfway back he realizes it's going to be a safety, not a touchdown, so he pitches it to Dak, who runs it in.
There we go.
Perfect.
Last game for the evening is New England versus the Lions.
Yeah.
Mentor versus mentee.
So I'd like to take the reins on this one. New England is what?
New England.
Is New England, yes. He's been studying. They don't struggle at all. Tom Brady throws for 4 touchdowns.
57 points.
I'm anticipating kind of like a 41-30 type game. the Lions seem to be lost almost right now.
Stafford finds his way today.
Yeah. you think
Ooh,
so?
I like this.
I have a lot of faith in Stafford. I just think in general the Lions are kind of lost.
Who do the Patriots lose to?
Jacksonville.
That's right.
And I really believe Stafford's going to find his way today. And it's like 28-24.
I agree with you. I think Stafford finds his way, but I don't think it's enough. That's the thing. I think he finds his way. I think he has a lights-out game. I think he throws for like 400 yards, 4 touchdowns. I just think Belichick and company outplay him. I think they win 35-31.
I'd be curious, you're the guy to find it out of Belichick's
I was about to say.
former coaches who have beat him.
There was a
Eric
stat that
Mangini, maybe.
There was a stat that just came out last night. Nick Saban is 13-0 against his proteges. Let's see.
The only guy I could think of is maybe Mangini coached the Jets. And maybe they beat him. This was back in the mid-2000s.
Yeah.
That's the only guy I could think of, really. Bill O'Brien, Houston's never done it. What's his face? The offensive coordinator, he's back now in New England. He played he coached for the Broncos, never beat him.
McDaniels.
McDaniels, yeah.
never did it. So, we'll see. And then that takes us to Monday. Tampa Bay,
Steelers, Tampa.
Pittsburgh.
Tampa.
New England wins, by the way.
I'll tell you what, as a Steelers fan, a lot of distractions. Roethlisberger's playing like bummed out.
Well, he played great last week.
But emotionally, he seems like he's not there. He's
Going through the motions.
Yeah, he's not. It doesn't have kind of like that intensity, and I think that's definitely evident in his play. I think Pittsburgh wakes up this week. I think Tampa Bay gives them a run for their money, absolutely, because it's the worst part of the defense, and the defense has not been the same since.
Is
the
it in
late
Pittsburgh?
2000s. No, they're in Tampa,
Wow.
and they can't tackle. That's the worst part. The defense is like they're not blowing coverage. They can't tackle. It's the easy stuff. They're arm tackling. It's embarrassing. You're a professional football team, but I think Pittsburgh plays well enough to win. It's close. I think it's 27-23. Pittsburgh wins.
Uncle Bob?
I think it's magic time.
Yeah?
Fitz
It's magic.
And it's 21-14. I don't think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I think both teams have defenses that can stand up, and I think it's just going to be that kind of a game.
35-15, Pittsburgh.
Any reason?
James Conner.
Fair.
48-42 Tampa.
Wow.
Ooh.
Wow.
Ooh.
Yeah, that'd be a lot of fun to watch.
I think both quarterbacks throw 5 touchdowns.
Wow.
Could
Can
happen.
they throw them all to James Conner?
Nope, they're all going to Brown and Deshaun Jackson.
Yeah.
And that, what a day that'd be. Could you imagine,
man.
imagine having 2 receivers that each catch 5 touchdowns?
What a day.
Yeah, fuck yards. I don't even give a shit at that point.
Yeah.
They can be for no
5
yards.
5 touchdowns.
5 yards, 5 receptions, 5 touchdowns. Still a lot of points.
Yeah.
Still 40 points.
So, interesting question. How many times do you think Bill Belichick has lost to former assistants?
Kendall says
Twice.
1.
I'm gonna say 1 to Eric Mangini.
I'm going to say 3
Twice.
because he said 2. I don't want to say 0.
Bill Belichick has lost 8 times to his former coaches.
Wow.
He's
Well,
lost.
he's had a long career.
He's
Right.
lost twice to Nick Saban.
Oh, when he was in Dalton.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
He's lost twice to Al Groh.
I didn't ask. I can't remember who he coached for.
Neither do I. He's lost 3 times to Eric Mangini.
Wow, way more than I thought.
He beat him 5 times, though.
Well,
And he lost to Josh McDaniels when he was in Denver.
he did, really.
But does he lose to Patricia?
God, I didn't realize. Nick Saban beat him twice, you said?
Yeah, and that's saying something because he was a terrible NFL head coach.
Yeah, really.
He was very bad with the Dolphins.
Yes, but the Patriots cannot play the Dolphins well.
Yeah.
That is
Especially
In Miami.
In Miami.
In Miami, yeah.
Especially Miami.
Yeah, they've that's
Smoking Jay Cutler beat him. I love him.
That's the most awesome nickname, too.
Smoking Jay.
Cutler.
I understand as a football
Well,
fan, as a Bears fan, I
they
understand
named
how...
the Broadway Review about that. Smokey Joe's Cafe.
I know he wasn't the greatest thing in the world, but I will always love Jay Cutler. He will always have a soft spot in my heart.
Me too. I like Jay Cutler a
Well,
lot.
and a lot of, I really think he gets short shrift because that offensive line in front of him when he was with the Bears, it was a sieve.
No offensive coach, no offensive consistency on the coaching side in his whole career there. No offensive weapon consistency outside of Matt Forte.
Yeah, I love Lovie Smith, but did nothing for Cutler while he was there.
Well, no, I still think that was like the biggest crime in Chicago Bears.
What, firing
the
Lovie
2000s.
Smith?
You don't fire a 10-6 coach.
That's right.
You don't do that.
No,
the
absolutely
defense was
not.
always there for
Yes.
with him. That was not the problem.
Yes, absolutely. You don't fire a 10-6 coach unless it's
Them firing Lovie Smith is what became the demise of the Chicago Bears
absolutely.
defense because
Exactly.
Trestman came in and wanted to pay all this big money to offensive players, and then that's why Urlacher, Tillman, Briggs, all these players had to leave.
Yep.
Because they didn't. The defense doesn't win. Okay.
Yeah.
That's why.
You
that's
remember
why
that.
That's why the Bears only got beat out by the Broncos that year and didn't win any games.
Right.
But football season's here. You know what the best part about it is?
But
Next week
Basketball
when
season comes soon.
next week when we're doing this,
I know.
football's already.
You guys telegraphed that. I knew you guys were going to say it.
Well, the thing too is next week we're going to be doing this exact same thing, but then football will be a quarter of the way over.
Yeah.
Isn't that great?
Well,
Isn't that great? It's just such a drawn out season.
oh gosh. Ah.
It is. It's a drawn out season.
Well, now,
I'm sorry.
come on. Drawn out season.
It is.
It's
You know
over-
why?
Basketball.
No. Do you know why? Do you-
baseball.
No.
Baseball's always been long.
Yeah, baseball's always been long. Basketball season is not drawn out. The playoffs are drawn out.
Yes.
Hockey playoffs need to be 7 games because there's so much lucky bounces that go into it and things like
I
that.
agree. The only series that should be 7 games is the championship series for the basketball. The others should be 5 games.
I agree with you on that. My thing is, for football, the reason I say it's drawn out is because during football season, it's all you hear about nonstop for 17 straight weeks.
Which is
Yeah.
awesome.
It's not because there's so much stuff because hockey and basketball start coming in. I mean, you hear about the World Series, but like right now, September baseball. This is some of the most exciting baseball you're going to see.
Yep.
And it takes a backseat to who gives a shit football right now.
Yeah.
I agree with you, and that's
And
unfair.
early
And that's
basketball,
unfair.
there's going to be some early basketball matchups and early hockey matchups that are not going to get. I mean, ESPN won't even
Not-
talk about hockey,
right, yeah.
but I mean, there's a lot of these
Let's
early
go
seasons.
Knights.
They're not going to get love and stuff like that. No one's going to talk. They're not going to be highlighting basketball until football's over.
Yep.
It's the only reason the All Star game is as late as it is for the NBA because if it was any earlier, it would coincide with the playoffs. And no one would care,
That's right.
and that's why it happens after like 53 games.
Yep.
Right.
It's like okay, All Star break, 20 games to go.
Well, and truthfully, the NBA should eliminate the All-Star game. Have a skills challenge.
I like this. Yeah, I think they should keep all the skills stuff.
Right. And the dunks. But forget the game. Because,
Nobody cares
come
about the
on.
game. It's like the NFL
182 to 200. Come on.
The only way I'd be okay with them keeping the NBA All Star game is if they actually started doing it by position.
And not just putting the most popular players.
Well, no,
on
they
the
do
court.
this front court, back court bullshit. Which
Yeah,
a
I
lot
agree.
of times,
I agree.
a lot of times
But-
centers get snubbed,
But
which is bullshit. People like Andre Drummond, DeAndre Jordan, things like these players that should be have All Star game seasons don't get All Star game appearances because they do front court, back court. So for your front court, it's small forwards, power forwards, and centers. Well, your power forwards, just look in the West alone, you have Anthony Davis, you've got Kevin Durant, you've got Draymond Green.
and then this funny guy that just moved to L.A.
Yeah, LeBron.
Okay.
But I'm saying, people like Clint Capella. Clint Capella last year put together an all-star performance for a center.
Yep.
For a center. And he didn't even get a nod.
Right.
Not even like a, hey, look in that guy's direction.
Well,
Because
the other
because
thing
they
is,
don't vote for
it's
centers.
It's a straight popularity contest.
Right.
It's only offense, because that's how most fans look at basketball.
Yep.
Okay?
That's all
I want to see the fans vote count 25%.
Well, look
Players
back-
vote 50% and coaches 25%.
Well, go back to the Chicago Bull days. Lou Alden got snubbed so many times. There were so many seasons he should have been an all-star.
Yeah, exactly.
So many times he should have been an all-star.
Because you're talking about, for his career, one of the best defenders that's played the game.
Yeah. And a really
And he
good
never got credit for it.
and a good all-around player offensively.
Right.
Which,
right. He could shoot the three.
he could drive, he could post up.
drive the basket. He could post up. That was one of the most underrated
Ugly
things
as
that
hell.
he did. Yeah.
Yes.
Super dark.
Yeah.
Him and Ben Gordon, the best British backcourt we've ever seen. The best British black backcourt we've ever seen when they would line up at point and shooting guard.
Yeah.
For that random big lineup they would do.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. I agree.
Oh, I love it so much.
Well, we got
Well,
10 minutes left.
10
Yeah, we
minutes
got
left?
let's do some beer reviews real quick.
Sure.
Uncle Bob, you opened up. How was your coffee?
It was great.
Yeah.
My coffee was great.
Cream and
but,
sugar?
Actually, I enjoyed my Gansett, too.
Yeah? How was it?
It was cold.
Go.
Cold beer is the best beer.
It's a great beer.
Cold beer is the
very
second
enjoyable.
best
When you
beer.
talk
Free
about
beer is the best
when
beer.
you talk about beer in that price category, the most important thing is how cold it is. Come on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cream and sugar in the coffee?
No, black.
Black?
Straight
Wow.
black.
Ooh, nice.
Straight black.
Black
That's-
coffee to Gansett. That's a true American right there.
Hey.
I feel like we should be putting cigarette butts out on them.
Yeah.
So Mass, you did you only had 2 beers?
Yeah.
Okay, you didn't dive into. So okay, so you started off with the Sam Cherry Wheat.
Yep.
What'd you think?
Nice fruity finish.
Gross. And then you went to the bullpen in the 9th. Pulled out the Heineken Pony.
Tastes like piss.
So you gave up a 2-run lead.
Yeah.
And blew the game.
Yeah, pretty
Nice.
Wow. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, me too.
Kendall, you
Finished off with the water, though.
hydration. Kendall, you went 7 innings with your starter, and then you brought in the big finisher for 3-inning save.
Yep.
How'd it go?
So, Maiden from Thimble Island. Very good. It's kind of like a tart finish to it.
Saison.
Very good. And then I brought in the Krampus from Southern Tier, and Southern Tier blew it. We were up big. Southern Tier blew it.
No, it's probably just old.
That's what it is. That's what it was. You remember Trevor
Sitting on
Hoffman?
your floor for a little while.
Trevor Hoffman.
Trevor Hoffman, he was almost 600 saves. It took him 9 tries to do it. And that's what Krampus gave for us today.
Well, I had the pecan pie porter from Clown Shoes. Very Bartolo Colonish. Gave up 4 runs and 6 hits and 142 pitches in 7 innings.
42 pitches.
And then the ever so reliable Coors Light came in to close out the game. Gave up no hits, 6 strikeouts, 2 earned runs on walks. We lost 10-4.
All right.
That's awesome. Well,
Social media plugs. Bob, you got anything to plug?
Bob, where you at?
Nothing right now.
Nothing?
Well, October 5th, the day after I turn 71, I'll be at the Rough Draft for happy hour, 5:30 to 7:30. And sometime in October, I'll be doing, actually, could be both a Friday and a Sunday, up at the Eagles Club. I did a benefit there yesterday.
In Naugatuck, right?
Yeah, in Naughty, yeah. I did a benefit there yesterday, and they absolutely went nuts. They love my old songs because they're all old farts like I am.
You got to play to the crowd.
That's right. You got to find the crowd to play to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Chris Mass, you got any plugs?
No, I'm good.
I'm okay.
You can catch me on the couch every Sunday from
Follow
1
me.
till 11.
You can follow me at CJ1092 on Twitter. I bitch about my sports teams and why they're not winning.
People named Chris like to bitch about their sports teams
That's
on social
right.
media.
That's right.
This
Rita?
could be a very good year for Chicago.
It could be. Could you imagine if everybody won it? Just everybody?
I don't even care if they won it. If they're winning. Okay, well, the White Sox, maybe next year.
Hey, that's fine with me.
They've got a great farm team right now. Their farm
except
team.
Kopech had to go get, Tommy
No.
John, which sucks.
Yeah.
So he's out till 2020.
Yeah.
Guy just
He'll come back.
hopefully, yeah, but I hope he comes back still throwing 100. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like he didn't really have a lot of time in the majors to work on his stuff.
Right.
So if he comes back and he doesn't at least have that
And-
heater to fall back on, he might end up falling to a third, fourth rotation kind of guy. Because it's not like he's going to be able to work on his stuff for a while.
Yeah, and it takes a while. When you relied on the heater the way he has,
Yeah.
it takes a while to develop not only a secondary pitch,
Train
but
to become a
you need to.
Yeah.
If he's gonna stay a starter, he has to have 3 pitches. If he
Yeah.
doesn't have the speed,
Right. And the White Sox are in a good spot for pitching right now, farm-wise, especially
Oh,
because
yeah.
Rodon has
Yeah.
started to come through and showed the potential that he has to be. I think he's going to be their number 1 going into the next season.
A lot of good stuff. Very exciting for them,
The trades worked out for them
for sure.
so far. Any events that you're going to be at this week that you'd like to plug?
No.
Good.
No.
Every Tuesday and Wednesday from.
Oh yeah, always.
Oh,
listen
you're doing
to-
this? Oh, okay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I thought you were hyping me up.
I'm always hyping you up.
Why, thank you. Always listen to PPRN.
Radio.net.
That's right, PPRN. Peter Pino does his show Tuesdays and Wednesdays, 7:30 to 10:30. Kind of be prepared.
Sometimes.
Sometimes listen before and after. That's kind of like a very loose schedule.
It might start at quarter of and end at 11:30.
Yep.
You don't know.
Yeah. Saturdays are mixtape Saturdays
Yeah.
here, and they're excellent, always excellent. Peter usually does at least an hour of his own stuff, and very cool.
And then actually on Sundays from 10 to 1, you
10
can
to
find
1.
Getting Sports with Drunk.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a pretty good show, too.
It's
And I like their
decent.
shirts.
And the shirts are cool,
Nobody's wearing any right now. But they're
That's
cool.
because I wore it on Wednesday.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, my laundry pile is towering right now. So
And Riddler, where can we buy those?
They're not for sale right this second,
no,
but that's going to be happening again.
we're doing that again. It was a lot of fun.
I'll get another color.
Yeah. We'll mix it up. We'll do some different colors, maybe.
Yeah.
I actually have a shirt for Chris, but I left it at home.
Oh, boy.
Whoops.
Yeah, that's right.
Thanks for that.
I got you a flattering gray.
I appreciate that. Shows off my physique.
Right.
Could use a tan.
Yeah,
Nobody does tan shirts.
No, that's true.
Ooh,
That's
like
true.
a cream or a beige.
Yeah, with a navy blue on it.
Ooh.
We're gonna get you in the design room.
Oh, hey!
Let's just buy out this building. Let's just do it. T-shirt
Printing
design,
press down there.
sex room, smoking lounge,
That'd be cool.
toilet with a rope flush,
Hookah lounge.
What was that
hookah
room?
lounge.
Winthrop?
Casino.
studio,
Machine
Yeah.
and
What was that room we had in Winthrop?
the relaxation room.
relaxation lounge, yeah.
Yeah. That was just the room that everybody had sex in next to the
Yes.
hall director's room.
Yeah. Very poor planning from the housing community there.
Yeah. Well, on their end, not on ours.
Right, exactly.
We used that room to the fullest. I passed out hammered a lot of times in that room.
Absolutely.
I walked in, I was like, oh, God, stairs are so hard. There's a couch. Lights.
Perfect. I feel relaxed.
Where can they find us besides PPRN? Everywhere the podcasts are found.
That's right. We're on Google Play,
Podbean,
Podbean,
iTunes,
iTunes,
YouTube,
We're-
Facebook.
Yeah, Facebook,
Twitter.
Find us. Yeah, Facebook,
Instagram.
Getting Sports with Drunk. Twitter is GSWD_4.
Make sure to use the hashtag GSWD for all your daily uses, whether it's just drinking a plethora of terrible beer or, nice black coffee.
Yeah.
That's right. Instagram, same, Getting Sports with Drunk. Great content we put on. Our cans will be up for the Week 3 matchups.
Yep, they will.
Wait a second. My can's right here.
We'll have Bob's cans up middle of the week.
Adam Schefter just reported that the Steelers are now officially taking offers for Le'Veon Bell.
Wow.
I'll give you pretzels.
I'm telling you, he will never play another game for the Steelers. And if he doesn't play for him this year and they don't trade him, he will retire because he will not come back for the minimum.
I'll give you 3 boxes of those buttered bread twists that were on Rebecca's fridge for her entire senior year.
Those are good. I'll tell you what, just real quick. This is, as a Steelers fan, as a football fan, this is a big bummer for me. I'm really disappointed in the way things went. But,
Well, I think-
it's the industry. It is what it is.
Yep.
Can't deal with it. It just sucks.
I know it. We
They're
dealt
cheap.
with Aaron Donald for a long
They're
time.
cheap and they don't value what he provided, which was
Why bother?
Yeah.
Because nowadays, yes,
Uncle
Le'Veon
Son-
Bell was
okay.
the best
What is everybody else doing?
Oh, it's just talking to Mike. I was going to say.
No,
What is everybody else doing?
Le'Veon Bell's the best back in the league, but look at James Conner. He's putting up 2 or 3 touchdowns a game for them
In the
so
mic.
far.
In the mic.
Sorry.
Yeah.
So
putting
the
up-
Steelers offense has proved that, hey, you want to run for us? We have the blocking to do
Yep.
it.
Right.
So,
But with Le'Veon
The thing
Bell,
is they offered to pay Bell the most money a running back would be making.
Right,
And it
he
wasn't
wanted
enough.
on what?
Right.
But because he wanted a long-term contract, and they're too cheap to give it to him.
because he wanted wide receiver 2 and running back 1 money.
He wanted more money than Brown makes, which I don't necessarily agree with.
No, absolutely not.
But Brown's on the end of his contract.
No, he got an extension.
Yeah, he got an extension 2 years ago, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
there's
still-
no way that
he-
Le'Veon
That was
Bell
still
got that
2
much
years
money.
ago.
listen, we're out of time. It's a bummer. It sucks, but,
I've lost respect for the Steelers. Okay, I've lost respect for the Steelers.
It's a team right now in not a good place.
No.
The problem
Not-
is the
not a good
Steelers,
place.
we'll say this one, the Steelers were fortunate enough for a long time to have 2 franchise players at 2 different positions, but when it comes time to pay them, two franchise players want to top each other money-wise.
Exactly.
And the Steelers, they made the decision that Brown was the guy that they would rather have over Bell without saying it in so many words. They gave Brown the extension before they gave Bell the extension, and I think...
And they refused, they were petty and refused to let him go to free agency.
Right.
Okay? They wanted their cake and eat it too, and now they're paying the price.
I agree.
Fair.
All right.
Fair.
Well, we'll talk more about this next week.
Yeah.
I won't be here, so.
Don't worry, you can listen in. You can hear Kyle pitch about it. But yeah, we got a lot of good stuff next week. We'll have Uncle Bob on soon. Once start of the basketball season.
Oh, yeah.
We'll coincide
I'll
that
be
one.
back.
We'll have him on.
Not too often, and definitely not back-to-back weeks again.
Yeah, we were glad to have you.
Yeah, we're always glad to have
It
you
was
on.
my pleasure.
We'll have to get Peter on some point, too.
No.
Maybe I want to...
Well, unless his job changes. Because he works Sundays.
Yeah. We got to see if we can get him to take a sick day, right after the Cowboys lose a
you
Thursday
got to
night
understand
game.
something. Peter doesn't take sick days.
Well, if we make him
He
sick.
also doesn't take
doesn't make him
vacation
sick.
days.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got enough vacation days to take almost a month off.
Well, let's just get him fired then.
Well, no, he's applying for a new job,
Yeah.
which could change my life considerably because we may go 5 to 8
Yeah.
on. So I don't know,
Yeah,
but
see.
if that happens, he won't be working on Sundays.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right, well, we'll be back next week, 10 to 1, here live on the PPRN Radio Network. Make sure to tune in and stay drunk. Until then, I'm your hostess, Cupcake the Riddler.
Story time, Bob.
Got the
Uncle
mass.
And I'm the Red Baron.
Yeah.